YouTube to connect. And we are live. Nick Bruce. What's up, man?
Nice. What's up, Brant?
How you doing?
I'm doing very well. First of all, congratulations on S&M. That's really awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really awesome, dude.
Thank you. But today we're here to talk about you. So,
I
you have a good day?
did. Worked out, rode my bike, and both felt really great.
Good. Good. Yeah, I saw your Instagram story. Said you did some flares for the first time in a while.
540 flares, yeah. First time.
Nice.
It's been about 4.5 months, a little over 4.5 months since my surgery.
Yeah.
And yeah, tricks. It's crazy how muscle memory works. Like things have just been working out, and I'm not complaining by any means. So
Yeah, I think if you don't take too much time away, it's like things just pick right back up.
yeah, this is the longest I've been out on an injury. So I didn't know what I'm used to, like maybe 2 months max.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't really sure what was going to happen this time around.
Yeah, what exactly even happened? What'd you do?
Okay, so at the Olympics, I injured my shoulder. At the time, or at in Tokyo, they're like, "Oh, it's just a contusion. It'll calm down in a few weeks or whatever, and you'll be fine." But there was so much inflammation, they didn't see the tears I had in my shoulder. So I tore my rotator cuff, and I found that out 6 months later with an MRI because my shoulder was still bugging me even with a rehab. So I tore my supraspinatus rotator cuff, which controls your arm going up and down. So that's why when I crashed, I could not even lift my arm up by any means. Like it was so hard to do anything after that crash. And then, yeah, the doctor in Pittsburgh was like, "Oh, you're good to wait until after 2024 for this thing." I was like, "Okay, great," because he's the orthopedic surgeon for the Pittsburgh Pirates, the baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's like, "Oh, I have tons of pitchers with that same tear, and they're still pitching full speed, full strength, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Fast forward 7 months or 6 months later, shoulder's still bugging me a lot. So I go see a doctor in Vail, Colorado, through the United States Olympic Committee, and the doctor. I was going there for PRP injections, which is just like something to help the healing.
Yeah, we'll get there.
And and that doctor was like, "Dude, you should fix this immediately." He's like, "You're like one crash away from not having a functional arm. You're like one crash away from possibly this thing not being repairable." And I was like, "This is like completely different than what this other doctor was saying." And I was not expecting to get surgery that all this or in 2022. I was like, that was like after 2024, like no doubt. So like that was like really jarring. But then I got a few second opinions through the USA Cycling doctors, and they're like, "Yeah, uh, you should get the surgery ASAP." So I'm healthy for 2023, even though I missed a few important events towards the end of the last year, and then I missed the first World Cup in February, which wasn't on the calendar until like December, and I was like, "Ah, man, I gotta miss that one too." So that was a little frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 4 or 5 months later, and I'm back to riding, I'm feeling really good. So I'm just hoping to stay on that trajectory.
Yeah.
Been working my butt off in PT and just off the bike, exercise wise, like keeping my fitness level high. So when I was on the bike, everything's been working really well.
Yeah. Can you lift your arm?
Oh yeah, yeah, just feel good.
Good. Yeah, it's crazy to see like how fast you're getting back to things on your bike too, because literally that day at Ray's where you're like not even really supposed to be on the bike pedaling around the pump track, and now flares already and stuff.
That was like only it might have been a month ago, but yeah, like Yeah, started on the pump track and just literally been adding a little bit of more difficulty each day or each week. And Ray's like it has everything in the world there. So like I was able to play around on all the baby jumps for like a couple weeks, and then I just kept progressing from there. And then a first session in the brew house, I would just do manuals and just watch everyone else ride. I wasn't really doing anything.
Yeah. So tell me about PRP.
PRP, platelet,
Platelet rich plasma.
yeah. So they pull blood out of you, and then they set it through a centrifuge and like
Mm-hmm.
spin it up, oxygenate all the blood, and it pulls all the plasma and all the good stuff out of your blood.
Yeah.
And then they re-inject it into whatever injured area you have. So I got I got 3 rounds of it actually. I got it done when I had surgery, then I flew out again for in December and got it done, and then got it done just on Monday, a few days ago. And it hurts really bad when they inject it. That was the first time I like nearly passed out.
Oh wow.
This time I was like expecting it, and I was like, oh, I feel okay, but it still hurt really bad. But it's just supposed to. It's mainly it's they see a lot of good things with tendons and ligament damage for
Mm-hmm.
when you use PRP. Like Nikita Dukarov told me she got it done in her knee, and a couple other people told me they got it done in their knee and it helped a lot.
Hmm.
I'm not really sure. This is the second round of that I was like aware of. So I don't know. It takes a couple weeks to kick in. Um, I wasn't like too sold on the first time because I actually have a partial tear in my other shoulder, same exact rotator cuff. So they were like, oh, we'll just PRP that one and keep an eye on it until maybe we'll have to fix it later down the road.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, that should help my shoulder. And then like a month later, it started like it was really aggravated again. This one still bugs me, or the non-surgical one still bugs me. So I'm hoping this PRP might make a difference. This second,
Yeah.
so we'll see. I don't know.
Is it something that you like feel personally that when you did it the first couple of times?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm really because Johnny Delbalso is really curious too, and he wants to know. And I was like, I'm getting it done again, and I'll really pay attention this time because it's just so subtle, really.
Yeah.
And but I feel good, like health wise, so it's like maybe it is helping. Like the doctor basically said it's not going to hurt anything, and you might as well. He's like, I want to throw everything I got at it.
Yeah. Huh. Have you thought about is stem cells allowed for Olympic athletes?
Dude, the guy that actually does it, and so the way they do it is they pull bone marrow out of your pelvis.
Yeah.
He's like, they're not as great as the ones you find outside the country.
Mm-hmm.
Panama, like I know, is a popular place for them.
Yeah.
So he's not like super confident, but he was like, you could try it and it would help because that's what my wife researched a ton. She's like, you got to get stem cells. Like people have a lot of success with rotator cuffs with stem cells
Mm-hmm.
stuff, but surgery was the route I took. Yeah, I don't know. So some doctors were like really weirded out about the stem cell stuff, and then this doctor is like, he does it through
Yeah.
your bone marrow stuff or through your pelvis, and he likes it. But I just didn't end up scheduling that, or I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe for this shoulder, we'll try it down the road. I don't know.
That's what I wondered because I feel like I've heard people talk about surgical stuff making it so that like it's not as effective to do stem cells,
Yeah,
but maybe it makes sense. I don't know. I didn't even know if it'd be like allowed if you could still compete in the Olympics after doing that.
I guess you can.
Well, could be worth it.
Yeah.
Talk to Rooftop. He actually had it done. Yeah.
Well, me and Scott Powell, the owner of Chenga, he really wants stem cells done, and we were like discussing it like for his shoulders, and because he knows Danny Way had it done, but I didn't know Rooftop had it done. Maybe I'll tell Scott to hit him up.
Yeah, I talked to him about it, and he's been posting on Instagram every couple weeks or so, just talking about his experience with it.
Oh wow.
And I mean, when he talked about it, I asked if he would recommend it, and he's like, I would literally recommend this for anyone who's getting to their upper 20s or over 30 and still wants to compete, where it's like you have to take a little bit of time off, because the way he described it is like when you do that, you can like kill those cells or redirect what they're doing to an area. If you like are trying to heal your knee but you fall on your other knee, like it seemed like the way you described it was like if you hurt your other knee, it's possible that it gets helped by that too, so it's not like fully doing what you're trying to.
Yeah, I could see that. That's insane.
Makes sense. I don't know, could be worth, it's just
Yeah.
expensive, I guess.
Yeah, it's like 6K out of pocket in Panama or something like that.
Crazy. And he
That's-
he said something like it was a minimum of like 12 for where he went.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's gone up. I really don't know.
He said that there's like a lot of different places you can go, and the extent of the experience will vary based on where you go. And where he went, it was just they were there for everything. It was a full experience where it wasn't like a doctor visit where you go in there, they shoot you up, and you just leave.
That's so weird.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm glad to see you riding though.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm hopeful that that regenerative medicine, when we need it or absolutely need it, it'll be more accessible by then.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it seems like a lot of research is showing that it's good, so I'm hopeful that it'll come into our world where like maybe insurance will cover it or something.
Right, that's the main thing. Is like insurance doesn't cover that stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe they will. So, are you? I mean, the way you were talking just now sounds like you're planning on competing this
Oh,
year.
yeah. Beast in France in May is the first event I'll be headed back to. Really excited. Really working hard for that one.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if I'll hit like a smaller event just to get like brush off the cobwebs or something. But like the doctor also said, like try not to compete more than you have to for like a few months.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
So just gotta like monitor my load for a while.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Huh. So, how much does it realistically affect you that you missed those couple events for your like chances of doing stuff?
Truly, no one has a clue yet.
For real?
It's like so insane. Like yeah, USA Cycling, we don't know the qualifying process for 2024 yet. Like, and it's already started, like technically. So we like UCI has been like, I don't know, no one really has any information. So it's kind of like it's just funny, but
It's kind of crazy.
it's insane. All we know is there's supposed to be a 2024 qualifying series. So you actually have to qualify for that series, and then that series will be the one where that determines the top 12 or what countries and all that jazz.
Huh. Well, I would hope that missing just a couple would not like completely kill your chances of qualifying for the qualifying.
Yeah, I'm praying, dude. Like, because we really don't know. I'm confident I could do well enough the rest of the year, but it's not easy. And like watching these events, like the riding doesn't slow down, or like the riding doesn't get any easier.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also super motivating. Like that's what I love. That's what I love doing, and it's motivating when you're like, oh, I have to get better. Like I thrive off that. Like that's why I ride. I just want to get better every time I ride my bike.
Yeah.
Even if it's just this, even if it's competition level stuff, or even if it's like a simple tech trick that I've never done before or something. I mean, I think we all relate to that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. At least most of us, anyway.
Yeah.
Did you know, like, how far ahead of the previous Olympics did you guys know what you had to do? Is that like a long ways? Is it totally different this time?
It's different this time because of this qualifying series that they added to the mix. But in 2018, we had a solid, like, in paper of what you needed to do.
Hmm.
Like, USA Cycling had their own power rankings
Yeah.
based off of points you earned individually at each World Cup, like
Right.
based on placings, which is really ironic because end of 2019, I did really well at the World Championship in the last fee stop. And then I was like middle of building my warehouse, like not having a clue where I was in the standings. But I was just like, oh, I did well. I'm very grateful for that. And I'm like happy I'm able to build my warehouse right now. But it like hit me in the middle of nowhere where I was like, wait a second, there's a power rankings. Like I totally like wiped all that points and stuff out of my mind because it's just very I don't know. It's like it messes with your mind. You could like sit there and like calculate points all day, and it's just like at the end of the day, you just need to ride your bike well.
Mm-hmm.
So like I just like kind of wiped it all away. But like it was the end of 2019. I was like, holy crap, there's a power rankings. And I like just did the math in my head. I was like, I'm tied with Justin. Like I could, if USA's number one, we're both going. Like that was the goal. Like so it's just funny that we knew the power rankings, but I completely forgot about it until like it got closer and real. Yeah.
So technically, since you don't know anything now, it's kind of similar to forgetting.
Yeah. In my favor, it might be good. Yeah. That's how I operate. I don't know. We'll see.
Or did you guys know a couple months ago but you forgot?
No, I truly, because like this time around, like I'm so like I need to know. Like I don't know where I stand. Like I missed last World Championships last year and the last World Cup and then the World Cup in February. I'm like, does that even mean anything? Like it's kind of like I like playing. I like going with the flow and like focusing on just riding, but you still want a general idea. So like I want that idea of like, okay, what does it even look like? But maybe it's the universe telling me like you don't need to know. Like just keep doing what you do. I don't know. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, and that totally makes sense, but at the same time too, it's like kind of need to know which events you need to prioritize so
Yeah,
that you don't just be like, well, we're just going along here, and then the end of the year you could have went to all these events that you didn't, and
I know.
it screws you over.
Yeah, because we have smaller sanctioned events called UCI one events.
Yeah.
The ones at Woodward,
Mm-hmm.
which those were like important, and we didn't really know that early on in the process. USA barely went to any C1s, but like Australia was like hosting their own C1s, making sure Logan and Brandon maxed out all their C1 points because you could have up to six up to six C1 wins to count towards your country. But every USA guy were like, we barely went to any C1s because we were told it doesn't really matter because it didn't matter in the power ranking.
Yeah.
But only World Cups and the World Championship counted to what we were trying to do. But we were like, oh, we could have got USA even more points if we maxed out our C1s. Wow. So I'm really hoping like that's another strategy we could use to qualify our country. Mm-hmm. But like I said, we don't really know. Like,
yeah, so crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of hilarious just because I don't know. Like maybe Nyquist is just not telling me, so I don't worry about the points. Maybe everyone else knows, but I haven't asked any other riders to be honest. I don't. But me and Nyquist are really tight. We talk like every week.
Yeah, well, I would hope he wouldn't just not.
Yeah, I'm sure he would. I mean, he needs to know too, and he's like frustrated with the whole system.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe he knows you that well that he's just like, yeah, if I don't tell Nick.
Maybe.
That's pretty funny. So, I mean, so what sparked this whole thing? in us talking tonight is the Brew House and your shirts. I was like, oh, sick. He's
I should
selling
have
these shirts.
wearing a shirt.
Yeah,
That'd
you
be
probably should have. If you want to go grab one though, I can hold people over for a second.
all right.
Yeah. Okay.
You
So
sure about that, or is that fine?
I got you. We're good. Don't worry.
I wanted to rep DK, you know.
Hey, I get it. Shout out to DK. We'll talk about them later too. So, if you guys weren't aware, and somehow you live under a rock, Nick he's had this warehouse called the Brew House for since 2019, I think he was saying, and with that, the Brew House is expensive to run, and I'll let him tell that part of the story. But he has just released this shirt that he's using the sales from to help him keep the Brew House going. And so he's on his way to get one of those shirts, and I just wanted to talk about the Brew House in general because I feel like it's had a genuine impact on just BMX in Northern Ohio and a lot of those other just people who wouldn't normally get to ride something like that on a regular basis that are now. So it's cool. Ordered an extra small shirt for the Huckster. Nice. Shout out to Huck Karinsky in the chat. Old Fat Guy BMX is here as well. If you're listening to the audio only version of this, I do these literally live so that people can tune in and chat with us. We got 21 people here watching right now. And if any of you have like a topic of conversation or anything like that to talk with Nick about, go ahead and leave it in the chat. I'm always paying attention to it. I just try to bring things in when they're relevant, and I've got a pretty good list of things to talk about today with Nick. Talking about his YouTube channel, watching some old videos, old sponsors. Hey, there he is. Wow, he even changed. Pro. There's the shirt.
Yeah.
All right, so
Real quick.
What's that?
This is fun fact, real quick. This is the first photo we've ever taken in the brew house right before the first ever session.
Oh, so behind the scenes on the shirt.
We got Henry right here.
The dog doesn't come with the shirt.
Yeah, sorry guys.
I mean, that's a cheap dog. If so, it's $25. No, I wanted to kind of just get the background on kind of sort of the post you made, I guess. Just telling that story a little bit and the significance of that shirt if people wanted to pick one up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to clear a few things up about that.
Yeah,
like,
perfect.
For one, thank you for my wife actually has the she's watching the live on her phone, and I kind of heard a few things you were saying during that time. Thank you for that. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I guess as I'm sure just like I feel like everyone's in the same boat right now. Like financially, it's just tough time in our lives right now. For
Right.
Just who knows, the economy. We just got out of a pandemic. But yeah, with that said, like
You built the brew house in 2019, right?
Yeah, 2019. Built the brew house.
You built that, you put all this money into these ramps and rent each month, and it's been going for, at least 3.5 years at this point, right? Being 2019.
Yeah. We finished it February 2020, so 3 years.
So 3 years, and up until recently, I think you were taking care of everything, like, personally with stuff, but the post comes in with that side of things, in that the main thing about it is that a lot of people didn't know that there was a point where you were like about to take it down.
Yeah, I kept it complete secret. Like even the guys riding there while I was recovering, I let a bunch of people still ride, and I didn't say a word to any of them. Only a couple of close friends knew, and a lot of them offered like anything, like monthly. Shout out to Nick Yanetta, Phil Hudson, and Sean Baresi, and Paul Rad. They all like offered just like chipping in a little bit of monthly, which is very nice. But yeah, like like I said, the surgery kind of like blindsided me. So I had no preparation. And then I didn't know if I was going to be on the USA team for this year. Um, but thankfully they honored it because they were the ones that pushed me to get the surgery. Um, so thank you, USA Cycling. But if I lost USA Cycling, I would have lost my health insurance and just a nice pay. Like
Right.
they give you a yearly stipend, and that all that money goes to my warehouse rent. And I'm on a lower tier than I normally am, so like that pay cut got cut in half, and then other pay cuts from sponsors. So it's just like a very uncertain like 3 months where I was like, dude, I truly don't know if I'm going to be able to afford the brew house.
Yeah.
And things were already tight after losing a big sponsor like Weed Maps, and Champion also came around for Olympic stuff. So those were two. So yeah, like it's just warehouse isn't cheap.
Yeah.
And like I knew that. Like I knew like taking on that financial responsibility, and like I'm going to invest in myself and in my riding. And then a pandemic happened, so I didn't have any events for a year and a half. And then thankfully I still had sponsors were paying really well. And then 2022 came around, and I still have this nagging shoulder injury, and I'm not doing as well as I want to. And then I lost Weed Maps, and then there was a couple pay cuts, and I was like, oh, okay, like this is pretty tough. So yeah, I was just like, do I keep this warehouse going and just scrape by, or get rid of it and then train at Ray's, maybe take trips to Woodward, maybe take trips to North Carolina?
Yeah.
But like during my recovery time, when I was like in a sling and watching everyone ride and like watching people like, and that was the first time I really opened up my doors, because truthfully, like, I don't know about you or anybody else, but COVID really like I don't want to sound weird, but it gave me like a lot of social anxiety coming back to normal life.
Oh, I gotcha.
A lot of people. So like, especially with all the crazy rules just to get to Tokyo, like you had to pause, like you had to have a negative test, like for a while. Like we were testing, like we had like 6 tests before we even got on the plane.
Yeah.
And then we had to test to go to the World Championship, which was the last qualifier for the Olympics. So I was just a paranoid mess, like not wanting to test positive. So I was in the brew house like really tight with just friends that I knew that were. It's funny because I think a couple had COVID, or I got COVID too, but it's just like I was just trying to minimize any risk, regardless. And then road gets back to normal, and I'm like, I'm having anxiety going to Ray's, being around a bunch of people riding in front of them. Like it was like such a weird feeling. Like I finally feel normal now, but it's like such a weird transition. I don't know if other people have experienced that with their pandemic crap, but just really weird. But so like yeah, so like I'm in a sling. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna let whoever wants to come ride, I'll let them ride. And it was just so magical watching new people come into the door and like how much they love the ramps and how much they're learning and like progressing. And I'm like, dude, I can't get rid of this place. Like this is too. Like it's helped my riding so much. It helped Marcus Christopher riding like during the pandemic and stuff. Like he's done some world's first. Like it's done. It's just like it's like Woodward, but in Cleveland. Like. Like you could get a Woodward level session and you could ride Rays in the same day if you want. Like, it's just like so important. Like, and so like during that like recovery process, it's like there's no way I'm tearing it down. And then thankfully, like I'm on the team for this year and I'm okay. But like, so like I want to clear it up. Like I'm not like I don't want people to like jump on this and like thinking like I need their absolute help.
Oh yeah, I gotcha.
But it was more of just like being on like you know, social media looks rose like rainbows and butterflies. Nick has his warehouse, like he must be doing great.
Yeah.
I just want to be like, hey, like I don't know if this is going to be around any much, or I don't know if this will be around for another year, or I know for this year I'll make it happen, but I don't know about the future.
Right.
So like right now I'm just like, this is our second t-shirt we made, but I don't know. This shirt means a lot to me, and like the support that I have gotten so far, like has been, I'm like shocked. Like it really helps, and it helps a lot because I just tore down the step up. Like I'm rebuilding stuff, and I thought for sure I was gonna reuse all the wood, but it turns out I did need to buy some more wood, which we found a good deal on Facebook Marketplace.
Nice.
On a bunch of sheets, and that saved me a lot of money. But it's just like warehouse, like in propane, like there's so many random expenses throughout the year, like, and then on top of that, like traveling and whatnot, like it's like I just wanted to make sure like I wasn't being like,
It's not a GoFundMe.
yeah, exactly, yeah,
Your shirt isn't a GoFundMe. It's you kind of being like a business and selling a product to
yeah,
help pay for this other thing that you do.
yeah, something like that. And that's why, well, not the real reason I started the YouTube. The real reason is like I miss doing videos.
Mm-hmm.
You were at Ray's, and all the kids were like, "You should bring your YouTube back."
Oh yeah, that got to be a theme for a second. I don't know if it was
Like,
because you talked about it or what, but that
I,
was the whole time.
yeah, it's like I didn't even say I was going to, and they're like all hyped on it. I was like, okay, maybe there's like, maybe it could be something,
Mm-hmm.
or like maybe it'll help inspire guys or get people motivated, and like if they're in the video, they're stoked or something. Like
Yeah.
gets people stoked around here, and I'm like, okay, I didn't really see it like that before. And then and when I was doing YouTube before, like I was earning a little bit, so I was like, oh, maybe it could help offset the cost. Like I know it's a long-term thing, like, but if I stick to the channel for a year, maybe it'll help in the end, or maybe it won't. I really don't know, but I feel like I'd be doing myself. I feel like I wouldn't be doing everything I can to keep the brew house around if I wasn't trying the certain things I'm trying, you know?
Mm-hmm. And
Not like begging people. I'm not doing a GoFundMe. Like people ask me, like, you should just do a GoFundMe. I'm like, no, dude, I'm not. That's just weird to me. I don't know. Like, no offense to anyone that has done it. Like, I know it's very helpful in ways, or
yeah.
medical stuff, but like, I'm in a very blessed spot. Like, I'm very taken care of by like my sponsors, but we're just. I think that's a reason why there's not many pro BMX riders that have their own private warehouse. They all have backyard ramps. Like,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, it's insane, I'm sure. And it just makes sense to do things like that. And I think talking about people being stoked to be in your videos and talking about the impact that the brew house has had just on the scene locally since you opened it up more, and how those things could work together to push it even further is just a cool thing to think about. And before we fully talk about YouTube, I did want to talk more about the impact of the brew house on Ohio BMX, because it's certainly had one.
Yeah, dude, guys have progressed so much.
Sean
Sean,
Sean has gone crazy lately.
yeah, Chris Sellepak, he's been.
Yeah, him too.
Dude,
Marcus.
I don't even do. Yeah, Marcus.
Marcus is just, I mean, Marcus was always gonna get to where he is right now, but the brew house just, I think, made it happen even faster.
Yeah, because I mean, it's only in 50 minutes from his house to here,
Right.
versus us driving 4 hours to Woodward. Like,
Yep.
and he could come here whenever he wants. Like,
And sleep in his own bed.
yeah,
And
exactly.
and you guys can build whatever you want to there and ride till 3 a.m.
Yeah, do whatever we want, really.
Yeah, it's just yours, and it's just, I think it's had a pretty significant impact, just even for people like Noah.
Oh yeah.
Watching Noah ride there, he's been pushing it, and people like Noah, it's what you said about you could ride the brew house and then ride Ray's in the same day. That's pretty much normal Saturdays right now. Is when
Yeah.
people are riding the brew house, and then Aiden's probably one of the like shining examples of
Yeah.
progression from from the brew house existing.
I agree, and thank you for shining light on that.
Yeah,
Because yeah, that's why I built the place. Like, I love Ray's, I love Chenga, but there's many tricks at the brew house that I can't do at Chenga or Ray's just because of ceilings and ramp sizes.
yep,
So when people come into the brew house, immediately their level of riding steps up because they have big ramps to ride.
yep.
Um, and it's just awesome. Like, and that's what I compete on. Like, it's just something, and it's always been my dream. Like, literally, even when I started, like when I went to my first skate park, Shebang Skate Park in Erie, Pennsylvania, just something about ramps in a warehouse. Like, ever since I was like 12, if we're driving by a building, or like even when I'd go to church as a kid, I was like, I feel like we could put a skate park in here. Like, always had a vision for like ramps inside a building.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's just like a crazy feeling to like finally like do it yourself and like be able to do that.
Yeah, and talking about everybody else's riding, another point too is I feel like your riding is better than it's ever been, and I don't know that would have happened without the brew house.
Yeah, I agree, dude. Like, that place has helped my riding so much. It's just because I just love being able to do my hardest tricks every day. That's why, I mean, not only that's what I have to do to stay prepared for competitions, but it's genuinely what I like doing. Like, I love that feeling of like, holy crap, I just scared myself with that hard trick.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Ray's and Chenga, like you could only do so much by like changing up or like trying different transfers, and but you can't just send a new trick on the resi without hitting the ceiling or something. Like, I've hit the ceiling at Ray's and Chenga many times trying
Right.
and it's just like, it's dangerous.
Oh yeah.
Wait until I go to Woodward or go to my parents' house where I used to have a little resi set up just to send new tricks. So yeah, just having, I don't know, obviously, like, it's just such a dream come true, like just like having your own spot where you don't have to worry about ceilings or anything.
Yeah, and it's not like you can have a 2-hour session at Woodward, you know? It's like, oh, I just got done working out. All right, gonna go eat lunch, go to the brew house for 2 hours, chill, go to Ray's for the evening.
Yeah,
And you just can't do that at somewhere like Woodward because of how far away it is.
yeah, exactly.
You would have to literally live there, you know?
Yeah, literally, before I built the brew house, I was really like debating, like, I think I gotta move.
Mm.
Like I want to progress. I just want to ride like that every day. I don't want to wait once a month or twice a month to go to Woodward and have those sessions.
Right.
And it was like a huge decision whether to take it on financial. Like, I'd be, like, it's funny. Like, I would be so financially fine if I moved somewhere, but like, I just love Cleveland. I love Ohio. For some reason, I'm sure you get it. Like, something about being an Ohio guy. It's just like,
Listen, you don't have to explain it to me. I ride Worcester Skate Park.
yeah, you're right.
Like,
Like, you get it?
I'm not tired of that place still.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. And we have two of the best indoor parks in the world, Ray's and Chenga. Like,
Within 15 minutes of each other.
yeah. And you have a nice airport. Like, I could go anywhere I need to.
Yep.
And then Lake Erie has nice beaches, believe it or not. Like,
Okay.
maybe, I don't know.
I don't know how much I can let that one go.
Hey, if you just want to lay in the sun on some sand, it
Have
does
you
the job.
have you been to the Upper Peninsula, Nick?
Probably not.
Okay, well, that explains it. That's funny. No, I mean you can go to Cleveland's beach and it's not the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
You there's I don't know, pretty much everything you could want to really do is somewhere, but I really feel like the brew house has had just such a significant impact on BMX and just the level of riding of a few people here in Ohio that it would really suck to see it go away. So that's part of my motivation for like putting the word out here further to be like, look guys, he's got this shirt, he's doing the YouTube, you guys gotta check it out.
Thank you, Brant.
Yeah.
Any little bit helps, you know. Like
Mm-hmm.
it does. Like any little bit, like it goes a long way. And I don't take it for granted by any means. Like it means a lot. Like, and it means a lot to the guys that get to ride it. Like,
Exactly. I almost feel like a responsibility when I see something like this and it seeing it impact like my friends. Like, dude, I gotta help with this. So
dude, yeah, you texted me like as soon as I posted that. I was
it was within minutes.
like, yeah. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, thank you, Brant. Yeah.
But I think too is just it. The more you do stuff like this shirt or keep going with YouTube, you'll just develop even more of a business mindset to where you can do even more things that will make it even easier. And even just the YouTube channel, the more that grows, the more opportunities there are through just that to do things that will make it even better. And with what you're doing, and now we could transition to talking about YouTube, in that you're documenting the actual changes that are happening
Yeah.
at the brew house, which is something for other people to follow along with more than just on Instagram. You're like, look guys, this is what we're doing today, and this is the people who are doing it, and then we're gonna have a session. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for the new changes because the step up was kind of like, I don't know, you couldn't sit on that deck unless you were riding the step up.
Oh yeah.
So now the new setup, there will be way more deck space, so I could actually welcome more, because that's another thing, like 10 people in there, it feels so crowded. So I'm hoping the new stuff I'm building will just open up more deck space, so
Yeah.
like maybe we could have a party in there. I don't know. Like, you know.
Oh yeah. Have a band or something.
Dude, believe it or not, there's a guy with a band that hits me up on Instagram. Like, he stopped, but it was like almost every week. He's like, "Can I please play my band in here?" Like, so maybe down the road, who knows? But
Yeah, it's dangerous.
I know, yeah. Like, it's not. But that's another thing. Like, I would love to host a jam there, but it's not in the best area. There's a reason why it's private. Like.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you don't want to. There's not even bathrooms in there. Like it's just like as raw as it gets, just a warehouse with ramps.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. I wanted to go in, do my thing. I mean, we've been hanging out and playing basketball too lately, which has been so fun.
Yeah.
And building ramps and stuff. It's like we could hang out in there, but it's not. I just built it just for the riding and having good quality sessions. Like it's really, really it.
Well, I think you have an opportunity with YouTube and the brew house. I mean, it's not the same thing as what Scotty's channel started based on, because that was like a full out indoor skate park and what they were doing. But I think you have an opportunity in just that there's a consistent crew of people that are awesome dudes that are fun to ride with, and you making videos, and they're stoked about that too, to bring people into this world, and I think people will be stoked about it.
That's great. Yeah. I've been out of the YouTube loop for a while.
Well, I'm here to help.
Yeah, I would love any ideas or.
Well, first of all, I don't even care if I get to ride. I just want to play Knockout. I've never talked to you about the brew house one time until you made a Knockout post. I was like, dude, Knockout, I need to play.
Dude, yeah, the hoops. My wife's gives me crap every week because she got the hoop for my for my birthday the one year because she
Mm-hmm.
knows I love just shooting around, and she's like, "You're mounting it in the brew house," and it took a while, and then I finally put it up. Now it's hanging on two screws, barely.
Oh yeah.
So I got to fix it. But every week she's like, "When are you gonna fix the hoop?" Not like, not in a mean way, but just like in a fun, playful, like, Nick, like I got you this hoop, and you love, and everyone's been loving the hoop. Like you got to make it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you know Brooke Treen, right?
Yeah.
One day we played a serious one-on-one game after the session, and the hoop just got destroyed. Like I don't
Too
know if it
much
was
dunking or what?
no dunking. It was just the wall. They're mounting something to a brick wall.
Oh, I gotcha.
It's a project, man. It's not easy. And I thought I had it designed super well, but now I have different ideas of how to mount it. So once, yeah, you're more than welcome to come anytime, by the way. But
I figured. I wasn't enticed until I saw Knockout.
yeah. Well,
I just
every Saturday after the session, we get the heated knockout games, and it's like, it just like it's so fun, dude. Like I used to play that with my friends in middle school, and
yeah, me too.
yeah, that's all I remember.
I literally like going to high school and having lunchtime, and then the free time after lunch. That was it. Knockout, and it does. I was like obsessive about it, and I think even that is a fun thing to include in a YouTube video that people would be stoked to watch just because it's fun.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll incorporate that soon.
Yeah, and I'm definitely here to help with all of that too, just because I've lived all that and been obsessed with the back end of YouTube as well. But
It's changed a lot since 6 years ago.
how so? What do you mean?
I don't know how to enter keywords. I don't know how to do
Yeah,
well, all the back end stuff is gone, or I don't really know how to do it anymore.
holy cow, yeah, you didn't live through them changing to the new studio thing.
Now the studio, I'm like, what am I like? What is?
It
It's
works a lot better now,
oh,
but
it does.
yeah, it's just
It kind of
learning.
annoyed me though. I was like, I'm not doing YouTube again. This is all stupid now. Like I was like kind of turned off for a moment.
That is funny. Yeah, it's all different now, but I think once you figure out the buttons, you'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched anything on it. I just been uploading, doing the bare minimum. But
Hmm. Well, I mean, I literally work on my computer all day long, every day. So if you're doing something and you got a question, I'm here.
weird. Like,
Somebody else brought up a good point. At least they brought up something that made me think about it. Someone said more hitching posts, please. And that, I mean, even just
oh,
where a video where you're like, oh, we're gonna make a sub box for the day, and I'm gonna do sub box tricks, even though what you're used to seeing is a drunk driver or whatever, not drunk driver, air traffic controller.
true. I built my box. Like there used to be a driveway.
Mm-hmm.
Where's it at?
It's on the right side or your left.
This?
I
Yeah.
think so. That's the long and low.
Yeah, it used to be a long and low little driveway.
Yeah.
I built a 6.5 foot tall box that I can easily put a hitching post in there.
Nice.
Like that's something me and my buddies or Nick Digital Roma actually requested.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I mean, there's potential there. Like have a removable sub box or a sub rail or hitching post. That's definitely been in the talks. Like it's something I think about all the time. But I do have a movable sub box that I built during the pandemic that we were playing around with, and Nick D like destroyed it.
I mean, that's what he does.
Yeah. Like, yeah. I don't do toothpicks on sub box, but he was like toothing it like first tee like it was nothing. I'm like, dude, what the hell? That's how
Yeah. That dude is just incredible. And another tip for you, use the notes thing on your phone for YouTube ideas, because
oh yeah,
every single time I think of an idea, I just put it in there and then it's there.
yeah.
They make checkbox things now so you can check them off as they happen. It's nice. So yeah, pick up a shirt. What?
Everyone in the Midwest wants a hitching post.
Well, I think just people in general like seeing hitching post riding,
Yeah.
but they don't want to do it.
No, I don't.
They just want to see it. Like you're talking about a 6.5 foot quarter with a hitching post, and I'm like, I hope it's only a foot tall.
Yeah, we'll make it friendly for sure.
Friendly on a 6.5 foot quarter is scary.
It's a mellow quarter, though.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so it's
Compared to something that I would know. Is
like
there anything?
like a 6.5 box though. So it's not like
That's pretty gnarly, Nick.
yeah,
You're like, it's the Red Bull lip, but with a sub on it. I'm like,
yeah, literally.
okay.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of gnarly.
Yeah, kinda. That's funny. Either way, though, the shirt link is down below, so people can pick those up. And then, I mean, I'm sure you'll figure out more stuff to do in the future, and it would be cool. Maybe you could even do. Someone asked about brew house and coffee. Yes, it is coffee related.
It is coffee related.
So maybe you could do some kind of coffee thing with like raw.
I know. I was thinking that, like some sort of coffee collab with whomever may want to do something like that. But who knows? Yeah, there's. I feel like I'm a very positive person. Like I feel like there's tons of avenues and opportunities, but it's really hard when I get tunnel vision back into riding. Like,
Yeah.
But I do want to be more creative, and like that's something that I would want to do for myself. Like just figure out different ways. Like I'm very interested in business stuff and just anything really. Like I'm open to anything really.
Right, for sure. And the more you do it, the more those ideas come, and it's just cool. And I think it'll be exciting to see that. And just the fact that you put it out there in that post, and now you're talking about it, means that just more and more stuff is gonna come out of thin air. What it seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did want to ask: are you still doing everything 100% yourself on YouTube? Like filming, editing, all of it?
So I've outsourced the cutting everything down to my wife.
Nice.
She loves well, she's a photographer, so she loves Photoshop. She loves working on her computer, and she has the time. And because that's the hardest, or not the hardest part, that's the longest part, going through an hour or 2 hours of footage, cutting it down to 20, 15 minutes.
Yep.
And I just go in and clean up. Like she'll chunk it down to like 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, and then I'll chunk it down to like whatever it is, 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's a good process.
Yeah, so that's been super helpful. Like she's been pushing me to do the YouTube since we met. Like, bring it back, and I'm like, nah.
Nah. That's funny. Well, it is back.
It's back, and we're trying to stay consistent as possible. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Yeah. So, how many videos you got in the can right now?
Just one.
I love how we had that conversation, and then the video just went up. I was like, nice.
Yeah. I got impatient, but no, the next video is my first session back padded up, because I haven't been padding up until last Saturday, which we filmed, and then today I padded up.
Nice.
Yeah, just to make sure I was keeping everything chill for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I think that's a fun idea. Like, oh, it's just something I wanted to document, really. Like my first session back with pads on, I stepped it up a little bit than what I have been doing.
Oh yeah, and because you have so many of these super quick sessions, you could film 5 to 10 minute long videos so easily, and all you have to do is be aware enough to flip the camera around and just talk about your thought process in that moment in time.
Exactly. Yep.
It's so, I mean, I used to not like riding alone. I used to hate riding alone just because it sucks. But then I realized that filming filming myself while I'm riding alone gives you like a goal to work towards, and it almost feels like you're not riding alone.
Yep.
And
Yeah, you're
it's,
talking to the camera and you're documenting it.
yeah, it's like you're talking to all the people who are going to be watching, and then it makes it easier. But then at the same time, you just think about, you just talk through what you're doing out loud, and it's nice.
I agree. When I was doing YouTube before, there was a lot of solo sessions on my parents' backyard resi ramp, and it was just. I mean, I'm used to riding that alone. I was used to riding that alone. But yeah, something about holding the camera and you're just like going through the process of what trick you're about to do. Like, it's very comforting, or like it just changes the whole dynamic of the session versus just like, all right, I'm just gonna put some music on and do X amount of tricks and leave.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to send it.
Yeah.
If you're by yourself with no motivation.
Yeah.
It's good to see everything coming back for you, though. I'm stoked.
Thank you. Yeah.
So if you didn't get the hint, people, subscribe to his channel. That's also down below. But, I mean, is there anything YouTube-wise that we didn't talk about before I talk about something else? Marcus Wolk. Is Marcus Wolk going to come back?
He's a police officer now.
I saw that. He is fully entrenched in that world.
I mean, he's the man for the job.
He can be your security guard on the channel.
Dude, I was literally like, if I ever have a jam, he's gonna be the security guard outside the doors.
Yes.
But no, he rode the brew house like a couple months ago. Like he was like, I just need to ride my bike, and it was the first time, like, because he was waiting for his physical agility or physical assessment test, the police academy. And he did not want to get hurt or like jeopardize that by anything.
Right.
So he finally passed all his tests. He's a police officer now. He's like, now I'm ready to ride. And then he came to the brew house, which I was like, dude, you should go to Ray's for your first time back after like months and months and months off.
You know he doesn't work like that.
But he was so intimidated, he didn't really want to do anything. He didn't really ride.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Yeah, like it's been a while since he's ridden. So I got to get him back. I think he'll make it. I don't know if he wants to make an appearance, but maybe one day we'll get him on there because it's funny.
That he may have had the fastest progression out of anyone I've ever seen in my life ride bikes.
Like, it made no sense. Like, he was so determined to learn flip whips, flip bar, or like anything. Like,
Didn't he?
It was insane. Flare whips.
Didn't he flip whip like the spine?
Yeah, I believe so.
He's
Yeah.
been riding for how long? 6 months or something?
Yeah, like a year. And he's flip whipping spines. And yeah, he's his mindset, like when he wants something, dude, like there's no stopping him. It's like really inspiring.
Yeah, I remember watching that, and it was just crazy to see how fast everything was happening. Just insane.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Shout out to Marcus Wolk.
That's funny, man. Maybe I gotta get him back.
I mean, just at least to like for a video sometime, because it'd be fun.
Maybe he'll be into the knockout video more.
He can call shots for you.
Oh yeah, he would be good at that one.
I think so. But today, when I was just kind of trying to prepare for this, and I normally in my Instagram post will put a song from a person's video part from the past. So I was looking everything up, and I was like, geez, every single one of Nick's videos has some royalty-free music that YouTube doesn't recognize because it's royalty-free. So I can't, like, unless I record the audio from it. I'm glad I found Cleveland Rocks, though. I was...
Yeah.
But... What?
It's suitable.
Yeah, it felt good. I was like, dang, this is perfect. That's why I didn't find a good song. But through watching these videos, I kind of recognized that it felt like your progression in riding has been a pretty steady trajectory of you're just consistently getting better. But it made me wonder if you felt like there was a specific moment in time or trick or period of time where you really kind of saw things and you're like, oh man, I'm progressing really fast right now or something.
Like a moment in time.
Something where it was like, holy, like, I don't want to say like the made it moment, but
Dude,
something like that.
yeah, like this makes me happy when I think about it. So like in high school, I kind of quit riding because a lot of parks were closing down.
Okay.
Wedgwood opened up my senior year, I think, but they like went like in and like they've been 4 different parks, like Half Pipe Mike's, Gravity House, Stomping Grounds, now Wedgwood Ramps. So they've been through like a lot of owner changes,
Yeah.
and like I was barely riding, even though I was just working a lot with my dad. And then college came around where I was like able to like schedule my classes. So I would schedule my classes so I could go ride. Did I tell you this in my other podcast or the first podcast?
Maybe, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I had like 40,000 less people here.
Um, so college, I was able to make my own schedule. So I would schedule it so I could go drive up to Cleveland after class. And I would tell my dad, like, oh, I have class tonight. I can't work. I would literally be driving up to Cleveland.
Yeah.
And then I would ride with Bob Mead, Rob Armour, and Nick Digital Aroma. And like since in college, like I just started learning, like I'd learned triple whips padless in like 2 seconds. And Nick D was like, that's not right. Like you should be riding a bike normal or like more. And I'm like, oh, maybe I will. And then like, that was like 2011 going into 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And like I just like started learning so many tricks just by going to Chenga regularly and riding with Bob Mead and Rob Armour and Nick Digital Aroma. And then there's still the local dudes, Nick Yanetta, like Rob Giel. Those guys were doing tricks that I would only see in videos, and they're doing them like chilling on a normal day at Chenga, and I'm like, these guys are amazing. So like just riding with those guys really like turned on like some switch. Like I've always had like I picked up tricks pretty quickly even when I was a young kid, but I just like stopped riding for a while. Like I didn't ride as much once parks were closing in Youngstown, and it wasn't always easy to get up to Cleveland. Just due to work with my dad, like doing construction stuff. So it's like, it's funny, like college, like you go to college to like get your career out of it. I went to college for 2 years and got a BMX career out of it.
Nice.
Kind of insane, like, but it just somehow worked out where I was just like riding, my progression level just kept going up because I was more. And then,
Dude, that crew. I mean, just riding with Rob Armour's like...
They're amazing. Like, they do stuff, they could probably still do things today that no one's done. Like, and they were doing it every night at Chenga. And we would ride after hours Chenga till like 4 a.m. every night. Like, and I'd drive home and then go do a roof with my dad and then go to class, and then I don't know how I did it. Like, I lived off of a lot of energy drinks at that time.
Ironic.
Yeah.
Ironic that now you ride for Rockstar. But dude, that's like, I mean, I don't mean to like gloss over that part of things, but I just have to acknowledge how legendary those sessions at that period of time. I mean, Bob's videos, people can say whatever they want about Bob, but his riding,
airs and suicide double bar flares, just
downside bike flips,
both
ways.
Yeah. No one does that right now. Yeah.
No one, literally no one.
Yeah, so I owed a lot to Bob because he was the guy working Chenga, and they were just like so nice to me. Like, they were like so like, they just like, Nick, you can learn all these tricks, like blah blah blah, you're good. Like, they were just so, it was just a good crew, man. Like, I've been friends with them or like at that time we were all like close knit from like riding rays or like seeing each other at different maybe like local competitions or something.
Yeah.
But like getting us all in Chenga for after hours, it was like so magical, man. Like it was insane.
Yeah, it's a crazy time period. I remember hearing about some of those sessions, and then you just see the videos that came out of it, of those tricks, and it's just wild.
Yeah, like yeah,
It's cool to hear that you kind of felt that moment of just seeing things take off, and then the possibilities of it. And did you graduate in 2011?
high school, yeah.
Me too.
Oh, word. I didn't know that.
Yeah, pretty funny. But
Cool.
I don't know, man. Just I remember. I feel like I don't remember seeing you or knowing any about who you were or anything until the point where you were riding that green frame.
When I was on Mad Gear.
Yeah, and yeah. And I feel like the only reason I knew or heard anything was because I heard people talking shit because it was a scooter company.
That's hilarious.
But was that your first bike sponsor?
Oh, so believe it or not, my first bike sponsor was GT Bikes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
When I was 16, Vital BMX. It was 2008. They did a video project, and it was me, Bobby Canode.
Oh, Bobby's was sponsored by GT2 from this.
Yeah, we won this video series or video project on Vital BMX, and like I got a flowed GT for a year.
Nice.
And then this one day they were up in Cleveland riding race, and I didn't have a ride to get to race to meet the team or like meet them or meet whoever was the TM at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that fizzled out really quick. But that was like I was like, holy crap, like this is a huge opportunity. But I wasn't able to make it. And then like 5 years later, I won the Free Flow Tour as an amateur, and at the time James Foster and Colton Satterfield rode for Mad Gear, and I'm like, dude, we're gonna get you on. Like this is sick. Like they pay for your travel. They were like a really great sponsor. Like not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And all their parts were KHE parts, so like whatever you wanted was just KHE stuff. Until they made their own frames, which I broke and bent in like one session. China stuff. I think they were meant for like beginners.
Yeah.
But like they gave it to me like as like, no, this is an aftermarket frame. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't high quality. But before Mad Gear, there was FDV clothing. Nikita Ducaro
Oh.
claims to be my first sponsor, but I claim GT as my first sponsor. But I shout out to her. I made a video for her or for that clothing brand, and it was really cool. Like
She had to have been so young at that
she
time.
was so young. She was too shy to even like introduce herself at San Francisco Free Flow Tour. But she like messaged me on Instagram or something, and then I was like, yeah, all right. Me and Mark Largo rode for them.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but yeah, Mad Gear. My argument, they were an action sports brand.
Oh.
To me, like I didn't know what the hell Mad Gear was. I don't know I mean, there's scooter riders at Chenga, but I was riding after hours. Like I don't know. I only know BMX,
Mm-hmm.
and like my heroes, James Foster and Colton Satterfield, like they're amazing riders.
Right.
They're riding for this brand, and they say it's good. Like I'm gonna jump on that and like they're willing to. They helped me get to Simple Session, a bunch of other events, and like, dude, like I'll ride for them again if they were like around. Like they got me to. They were a good stepping stone. They got me to events. It kind of was crappy the way things ended, like they were say they would reimburse for a lot of things and they never did.
Oh yeah.
Like turned really sour, like in a bad way. But in the beginning, I was like, holy crap! Like I'm able to go to simple session, like this dream event. Like
Right.
I don't care who you are. Like you're not gonna miss. Like I'm not. Like you'd have to be dumb to miss out on that opportunity.
And to put perspective on that, say you're a rider who's young and up and coming and you get put on whatever big name brand at that time, chances are they're probably not going to be able to help you at that level to get to something like simple session. So the fact that you had a company like Mad Gear who's helping you get there kind of just, it I don't see it as a bad thing. I do remember people talking crap, and there was that comment video that I sent.
Yeah, you sent me that. I didn't. What video was that on? I can't believe Billy said that.
It was some kind of edit for them, I think.
Burn. That's hilarious.
Woodward thing. I can't believe you said his name. I wasn't gonna.
Uh,
Billy Perry left a comment on this Mad Gear edit that said, "Imagine being a BMX rider and riding for a scooter company." And the comment said 9 years ago. I was like,
yeah.
"Holy crap, that is hilarious."
Hey man, it was a stepping block to making my dream come true, and I was not turning anything down at that point.
Oh, it totally makes sense, and I feel like
From Mad Gear, like this goofy brand, to Total BMX, like the chorus. Well, you could get more core with S&M or something, but like Total BMX is like the chorus park brand in the freaking game. Like
they're definitely, that's what they're known for.
yeah, so I was just like, I don't know things. So like, if there's any kids watching, and if there's any goofy company that sponsors you, and it's like means something to you, or like can help you live something, or like just I don't know. You shouldn't say no to things that if you're wanting to get anywhere. Like
Yeah,
as much as possible in your early days.
we only know the line for ourselves, and to let other people's line dictate that for you and hold you back can suck, and it happens. And I feel like
Yeah.
we see it with, I mean, people would say what they say about a company like Radio Bikes or like Free Agent or something like that, where people might say things bad about them, but when you look at what they're doing, for someone like Jacob Thiem, for example, like Jacob probably isn't going to ride for Radio forever. He's going to, I would just predict that he's going to have, a total situation where he ends up riding
Oh,
for a much better known or more reputable brand. But I've heard that they do a lot for him, and it's enabling him to get to that point. And if you sit around and wait on that bigger brand to come along, and you don't have all these opportunities like you had for Simple Session, then it might just never happen.
yeah, man. Like I've seen it firsthand with
Stop name dropping.
I'm not gonna name, but like friends here in Chenga, like I swear they're better riders than me, but like I don't know stubbornness or what, but like somehow I was able to make a career and others weren't, and I'm not the better rider by any means. But it's just like just saying yes and being the right person at the right time has gone a long way for me.
Yeah, there's definitely it's a hard thing to navigate, and saying yes and no to the right and wrong opportunities is just, it's a hard thing when you're coming up in it. But I think Mad Gear, you acknowledge it, just had a very significant stepping stone effect for you.
Yeah, and it's so funny that it's Mad Gear of all. But
Are they
like,
still around?
um,
I'm gonna Google it.
yeah, Google it. I really don't know. I feel like they still sell Mad Gear scooters at Chenga right now. Like, I want to say I don't know if our
Oh my
Willie.
gosh, they did.
I don't know if our Willie has his own brand or it's through Mad Gear. I can't remember.
Dude, they do still make stuff. I had no idea. You can buy them at Sam's Club.
Sam's Club. Yeah, they really wanted a BMX team and BMX bikes, but they realized like scooters their bread and butter, and they can't really dip into all action sports because they made skateboards and other things as well.
Yeah.
They were trying to be a full action sports brand and take over, but just scooters is their own, like, that's the thing that stuck the best, I guess.
Yeah. And I feel like I remember people talking crap until you started winning events and traveling and like going to simple session, and then it was like, oh, oh, okay.
Yeah, I honestly, I didn't even know people were. I honestly don't know if I knew people were talking crap. It was a while ago, so maybe I did at the time. I really don't know. I don't remember like right now. Like when you sent me that, that comment today, I was like, holy shit!
So
Like
funny.
I can't believe that was from him though. But
We're all different people 9 years ago.
yeah, 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 totally. Like nothing against me. Me and Billy are homies. Like I could chat with him.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's so nice. But it's just funny, like, yeah. But you know how BMX is. It's so clicky and so like narrow-minded. If
Mm-hmm.
anything comes into our sport, they're like, "Oh, this is lame. This is blah blah blah," or they have so much opinions about it.
Oh yeah, that was YouTube.
Oh, really?
Or I mean, just don't you remember when like Adam LZ got hooked up by Stranger and everybody quit and everyone's like, YouTube's the worst thing ever. But now every single company is on YouTube posting videos and
Bike rider in the world wishes they had a YouTube channel, or like wish they could be an Adam LZ, or like,
mm-hmm.
yeah, it's silly.
Every single person is watching the Adam LZ of whatever thing that they're into
Yeah,
on YouTube every day.
yeah. Marcus Wolf found out about BMX through Adam LZ.
Oh, that's cool.
So like, and he progressed, and he was like really into it, and he's probably bought more parts than half of these salty bastards have ever bought. Any part.
Dude, I love you throwing shade. Like on Instagram, your comments that you see sometimes. In the Morgan Wade podcast where there was people talking crap about his ice over.
Yeah, I saw my comment on.
I was like, damn, Nick.
See, that shit pisses me off.
I
Like,
get it.
yeah, it's like it's so easy to be like, I don't know if you know the man in the arena quote. Like, I don't know it off the top of my head.
Let me Google it so you don't have to.
Yeah,
What is it? Man in the arena?
yeah.
Man in the arena quote. Oh, there's a framed picture with it. Oh, it's pretty long, but I'll read it. The man in the arena is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly. God, I can't read. Who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's like if you're like when you're the man in the arena, like it's so easy for our people. Like, until you're the man in the arena, you don't understand what it's like. Like, and people will constantly judge you or whatever. Like that quote means a lot to a lot. Like LeBron always quotes that quote. Like, it's because like everyone hates LeBron for God knows why. But
To put it in BMX terms,
yeah,
watch the Dave Mirra video with the Gangstar video where he say it's lonely at the top, and just listen to the words of that song because it's the exact same thing.
yeah,
It's real and definitely the kind of thing. I mean, I'm sure maybe you didn't pay attention to it, but it was the same thing with that Mad Gear thing, and then you started winning contests and traveling the whole world, and then it became everyone's like, oh my God, Nick Bruce is here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, easy to be an outsider and criticize and stuff.
Yeah,
So
but
that drives me nuts. Anytime there's like Morgan Wade was the man in the arena, like
yeah,
no one's gonna ice over, no one's gonna ice
no
pick
one,
over that wall.
no
Like
one else.
no one. So like, dude, just don't even comment on it. Like, oh, he didn't commit. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Dude, like, are you serious? Like, how do you even have the audacity to even say anything like that?
it's just insane.
Dude, like, I got insane messages and comments during the Olympic stuff. Like, I just don't understand, like, keyboard warriors. I've never experienced it until then. Like, I was like, wow, like, people are crazy. Like,
They really are, and it blows my mind too when you see how like overcome and engulfed with situations people become, to where like right now there was a car accident with somebody who's local to us where just something happened, and there's people who are just like obsessed with the situation and just following every single little detail of it in a way that I'm like, I don't understand this. I just don't get how like so many people care so much about something like
their
that.
whole life, like, I don't understand. Like, they get so engulfed, like you said, like,
I don't know either. And it's fine. It's your life. Do whatever you want.
their life or something.
Right. I don't know, man. All I know is that I don't have time for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, just too busy for those kinds of things. Either way, though, it's fun to see your comments sometimes pop up, because I know if it's still there, it's one that you like left and thought about and then was like, all right, yeah, I'm leaving that one.
Yeah. The Morgan Wade one's a good one.
It is a good one. Uh, what else was there? There was another one. I can't remember it. But there was another thing in that Mad Gear video. It was a Woodward video, and you were talking in that, and you were riding the mini Mega, and you said you wanted to try out the real Mega ramp, and I wondered if you ever ended up doing it.
For real, I said that in that video?
You did.
Oh, God. No, I've never, have I tried? No, only thing I've done was air the quarter and flare drop the quarter at Woodward West. But I never jumped the actual jump.
Dude, so
but I just
scary.
rode the quarter.
That thing looks just crazy.
Dude, yeah. Literally, Morgan, every Mega Ramp rider is like, Nick, you got to get on it. Like, they're like, we would love to see a flare down whip on it. And I'm like, dude, hell no. Like, that's just like, it's a 28-foot quarter.
That just sounds outrageous to say.
Riding that thing, you have to be going so fast for it to feel normal. And there's like no room for error. Like, you tense up a little bit, it spits you out to flat. Like, you have to be like loosey-goosey and just glide off of it. But like, how are you not going to be tensed up when you're going 1,000,000 miles per hour at a 28-foot quarter? Like,
You're Morgan Wade.
Yeah, like, those guys are a different breed, man. I promise you that.
Yeah, we don't need any more Jake Brown situations.
40 feet of shoes blown off.
Yes.
And he walked off somehow. Like, that was insane.
And, yeah, and like the Danny Way situations where he cases on his shins and just still drops in for his next run.
Yeah.
Crazy. So you flare dropped a 28-foot quarter?
Yeah.
Why?
Kenneth Tensio was the first one. But it was for Mongoose Jam. I was on Ben Wallace's team, and we filmed a video at Woodward. It was me, Drew Bezanson, and Ben Wallace, and Leo Barone. I think that was our team. I'm really sorry if I'm forgetting if someone else. Oh, we had an amateur on our team. I'm mixing up Woodward East. I'm really sorry if I'm forgetting someone.
That's okay.
But the Woodward West video, yeah, we just. And the craziest thing, I fell first try, never hit my head harder than that.
Oh gosh.
But I was like, I gotta do it. Like I got up. I probably wouldn't do this nowadays. Like get up after a head slam.
Yeah.
Like I would be like more.
Smart.
Yeah. Um,
That's so
but
crazy.
but yeah, I got it second try. The first time I just over rotated and my back wheel caught, and it just like really knocked. Like I'm surprised I didn't get knocked out, but like I got up. Everyone was like super concerned, and I was like, no, I feel good. I want to get this done. And then that whole week afterwards, or 2 weeks afterwards, I slept for like over 16 hours, like every day.
Jeez.
And like that's how you know if you're concussed, or that's a symptom of a concussion, like if you just sleep it off. And that's the best thing you can do, like once it's time to sleep.
Yeah, right.
You can't go to sleep too early.
You're not supposed to, anyways. I feel like when it came to those flare drops, it was like a competition there for a little bit. It was like everybody was trying to do them in all these different places, and then Kenneth was like, "Hold my beer," and now he owns it.
Kenneth could have it, dude. Like he'll do it. He'll flare drop anything, dude. And he does it like, I mean, it's not a like the bigger the setup is, the easier it is, but the commitment level and like the danger, like the dangers of it, it's not worth it to me. Like I'd rather do a trick on the box or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But just flipping off a 18-foot sub box into a 6-foot quarter, like hell no, dude. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, when Brian Fox's video came out where he's touring the course at the Saudi Arabia Worlds thing, they're pointing at the floating sub.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Kenneth will flare drop that.
He probably did, or he did. He didn't get into finals, so he probably didn't. But he would have for sure.
Oh, no doubt about it. Yeah, he owns that trick now.
Yeah.
But with all of the talk of, okay, so there's Mad Gear, then you went to Total, and Total was a good run, and then you went to DK. Was that just mainly a choice of them being in Ohio, or was there?
It was truly just wanting to just wanted to try something out. And like DK, I've been trying to find an email, because like back when I was like, I want to say like 15, I sent them an email. Like it should be in my AOL email.
Yeah.
I think I have this sent message, like, hey, like yada yada. Here's a YouTube video. Here's my current riding. I would love to ride for DK. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then Catfish responded or messaged me, emailed me back. I can't find the email, but he said no.
Oh.
but like, it's just a funny memory. Like I really wanted to be on DK, like as a little kid.
Yeah.
Like, at the time, Anthony Watkinson was my favorite rider.
I remember that name. Yeah.
He's like, that's where I fell in love with inverts. Like he had the coolest inverts, and like actually bought one of his old Brian Kaczynski frames.
Nice.
And I was riding a DK for a while. Like I don't remember when. It was after GT. After my GT frame cracked, I like bought a DK frame off of Anthony Watkinson, and I was like starstruck meeting him.
Yeah.
Because Ronnie Napolitan would always go to stomping grounds, and he would always bring in like Drew Bazance. Like he would bring in random pros, whoever was rolling in through town. So yeah, Anthony Watkinson was my favorite rider at one point. Still is. He's still inspirational. But I was like, oh, I really want to be on a DK. I want to be on DK. Like,
yeah.
So like fast forward, Total gave me a signature frame. Like they've made a lot of dreams come true. Like I got so far with Total, but I was just like, oh, I wanted something. I just wanted like I heard great things from Marcus about DK, and like I just wanted to be like something like where I could just. I haven't been to their warehouse yet, but like, no, I went to their warehouse when I was younger when
Yeah.
they DK dirt circuit tour or jumps. But like I haven't been since I've been on the team yet. But like I want to do fun. Like we right before surgery, we like all like I met up with Steve Buddendeck
Mm-hmm.
and Filmer, and we went to the new Columbus Park and we had a session and we got like a bunch of like content done for DK and just stuff like that, like stuff in Ohio where we could just go and collaborate or like
Right.
something done. And I'm like, as I said earlier, I'm a huge Ohio guy. Like I want like it's just something about DK like always like something about it like always attracted me like even after or like even before total or like
Mm-hmm.
during like I was just like man DK is like kind of where I want to be
Yeah.
like I don't have like a super hard explanation why but it's just something that I like wouldn't it just means a lot to me to ride for DK.
I think everybody has their full circle, like, company kind of thing, you know?
Listen, you know?
And fit, too, like, mainly with it.
Oh, and you as well.
Yeah.
It's insane. BMX is so cool. Like it's so like I don't know. I feel like dreams are very possible in BMX.
Absolutely. And with the whole DK thing, for people who don't know, DK has a serious history in Ohio with BMX. And there was a long period of time there, I feel like, at least in my generation, where it was like, oh, DK sucks. Because it was after the six pack where it was like, oh, everyone wanted a six pack. And before the, Marcus Christopher and Drew Bazanson and all of that, where it was like a weird time period there. But now, I mean, obviously they're right there with everybody else. So it was like, I didn't know about it that much. But then you learn over time that DK really had I didn't even know that it was a family started company that literally started with them making parts.
Yeah, making a stem. It all started from a stem.
I had no idea until was it you that told me that recently? Somebody told me that.
I don't know if I did or I don't know.
I think it might have been you at Ray's telling me about it.
Yeah, like I've heard you say this many times. You're not as well read as you wanted to, or maybe should be in BMX.
And that's why I do these podcasts.
Dude, you probably learned a ton.
Yeah,
You had
definitely.
Chad Johnston on the
Mm-hmm.
podcast. I was like, hell yeah, dude. Because
Learned a
he was
lot.
like, I would always see him in the background of props videos and like filming stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
learned a lot in that podcast too. But
Yeah.
like I was like a huge Chad Johnson fan uh, prior to your, and just learning about him. I was like, man, this guy gets it. Like he's been in this. He's like, you should get Stu Johnson on the podcast if you can.
I tried. He says he's got 2 or 3 other podcasts he has to do before he can do mine. I was like, all right, fair enough.
Dude, he's probably a hot top or like a hot, or yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
But he's like the nicest guy ever. Are you? Is your
I've met him.
PM now?
I don't. I haven't worked with him with S&M stuff or Fit stuff yet. I mean, we talked about podcasts and stuff, and so he's filming for them.
Yeah, okay.
He's
I didn't know what his role is there, but
he's doing a lot of filming and making videos.
yeah, he's the guy to do it all. So
For sure. But when it comes to DK in Ohio, they've been in Ohio forever, right?
yeah, since I don't know the year, but like forever since
Yeah.
existence, and it all started from like this crazy stem design.
That's so cool. And when you brought up Anthony Watkinson, I have not heard that name in so long, but I remember my buddy Jake really being stoked on him. And also, like when you said his name, instantly the car with the decal, the DK thing on it came to mind. Oh, before any kind of riding stuff. I remember him having a lot of like really popular edits,
Yeah, yeah, you did.
but I just
Yeah.
remember his car.
Well, I don't know if I remember his car.
It had a DK like wrap or something or logo
Just-
on it.
I think actually, yeah, I do know that actually.
Yeah, but I remember people being super stoked on him.
He had the most unique style at the time. Well, he still does. Like, it's kind of like a lost breed, I guess. Or he would do invert to late tail ups and stuff. Like,
Whoa.
yeah,
I
like
wouldn't
that.
call that lost.
Well, yeah,
I would
but
call that
no
just
one
no one
rides
does it.
like no one rides like him, and
Yeah.
like no one like picked up his style,
Mm.
and he was so unique. Like Fufanu to tail ups and stuff. Like, but like he would do it with I don't know. He was just so unique looking, like different style. Like no one's ever like replicated that.
I'm gonna react to Anthony Watkinson video now.
That would be good.
Definitely gonna do that. But another thing about DK that I feel like people might not have caught on to yet is that they're making the stems and the pegs in house right now.
In house, yeah. Uh, I have. I was the one that made the or got them to make the pegs
Mm,
because they were like, "Hey, we got this new machine. We're gonna be making stems. Any other aluminum part that you could think of, let us know." And I was like, "Dude, pegs. Like I want like I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but Total makes like a skinny peg, but I want something even skinnier."
oh yeah.
And they made it even skinnier, and it feels even better for like tech stuff or just I can't ride my bike without pegs. Like something about it. Like I
Yeah.
must have pegs on my bike. And
You're too mid school.
yeah, I have brakes too. But yeah, their pegs are, and they've killed it, dude. Like they're so light, they feel perfect for park riding. And
Mm,
I've hit some rails on it, and they haven't like dented or like worn down or anything. So
nice.
they're solid pegs. Like
Yeah, it's cool.
they're just like everyone's a fan of the tree pegs, like for their lightweight aluminum. And I swear to God, these DK pegs are skinnier, lighter, roll or grinds just as like good, or just as well as the tree pegs. I don't know. I mean, I could go on about the pegs. Like they're great.
I remember DK making an aluminum peg back when trees pegs were super popular and everybody wanted those. So it's cool to see that you got them to do like your version.
My version, maybe just a updated version. But
Whatever. It's yours, claim it.
and then I had input with the stem a lot, or the stem too. Like I had to give a lot of feedback because I was the one. Me and Marcus were testing them.
I remember seeing them. So like what kind of feedback are you giving on a stem that you're testing and developing? How's that work for you?
So originally they wanted to do like a front clamp design.
Mm-hmm.
So like the front clamps down and then only the back. Or wait, so only the back gives you the adjustment,
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
but the front pinches.
Yeah.
But it looked like from the front, it just looked like block of aluminum.
Gotcha.
So we're like, gotta change it around, and then the first prototype stem like pinched in the back because I'm sure you've had a stem in your day where it pinches all the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the fort around the steer tube gets too tight.
Yep.
So I just told them to make adjustments like that. Nothing groundbreaking. I'm telling them, just like, oh, like this is what's wrong with the prototype, basically. Like,
You're doing your job as a rider.
yeah, but I rode the prototype for like 8 months. Like it's still on, or I just changed it because I wanted the red. But even with it being pinched, it still rode just fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't put on the second prototype. I put it on my spare bike, but the first prototype was just as strong and just as fine. And I've cracked a lot of other stems,
Mm-hmm.
and
How do you crack a stem? Like, what are you doing that's causing a stem to crack? Is it just losing the bike on tricks, or?
I don't know. One time at Feast, I did a flare drop off the sub into the quarter, and my bars just moved forward. And I was like, oh, what the hell? And my stem was cracked. I was like, what the heck?
Well, I guess that kind of makes sense.
But I caught training. I didn't land like dead flat.
Oh,
Like it was like legit. Like it was like finals in the mini ramp. And I was like, so I don't know, just hard riding and maybe over tightening.
mm,
Um, but the DK stem I have not had any problem at all with. Like usually I would change stems every like 6 months
yeah.
just in case. Well, no, not just in case, because they would crack at the 6 month mark all the time. Or you could see like stress cracks in the paint, or like stress cracks like on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm a heavier guy, so like, and I ride pretty hard and ride like I do ride every day. So like I put a lot of stress on my bike.
You're a powerful rider. Yeah.
But yeah, so I feel like a lot of parts just get stressed out from my riding, and stems were one of them. But this DK stem hasn't, like that prototype lasted from January all the way until September.
Wow. And,
Yeah.
And then you just took it off because you want a different color.
I wanted the red because it looks cool with the red frame.
That's,
Like,
that's awesome.
so that was like, I was like, damn, this is a legit made in the USA stem. Like
Made in Ohio.
made in Ohio, yeah, even better.
That's
And it's true to its word. Like it's strong. Like it has like USA stuff's stronger than most stuff.
that's awesome. Uh, I'm curious too. Like, are you guys in talks about any other stuff being made? Don't. You like to say things you might not want to say, so think about it before you just say the part. You're like, yeah, we're working on.
It's just small stuff, nothing, just stuff we could fit in the CNC machine or whatever, the aluminum. Yeah, it's a CNC machine, right?
Yeah.
Just like different components we could come up with.
Nice.
Like just dialing in some stuff.
Yeah.
That's it. Because the frames, they've been out of frames because of a whole COVID mess.
Right.
But they're coming out with a nice metallic, or it's called Silver Sage. So it's like a silver frame with like, you could barely tell if there's green on it. Actually,
Oh, do we have one? Oh my goodness.
I haven't built it up yet.
Coming soon.
But it's like a really nice silver.
Oh, shiny. Nice.
But yeah, we're waiting on those to come in. And it'll just be the DK face frame with the silver and black.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of, and the stems and the pegs are like, still like, they're brand new still. Like,
Right.
haven't done too much. And they have new pedals. They have a lot of cool stuff coming out. Or like, that are out right now. But mainly the frames, and I think bars are still waiting from overseas stuff.
Yeah. I feel like I remember seeing the pedals. Is it an aluminum pedal?
It's a magnesium pedal.
Okay, yeah. From your video, duh.
Oh yeah,
It's like, where did I remember seeing that?
they're just as light as the Foothold Alienation pedals,
But they're, wow.
but they're magnesium, so they're metal.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. They were worth a shot. I really love the Alienation Foothold pedals though.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it depends what shoes I'm riding. Right now, I'm riding really grippy shoes, so I have to ride the DK pedals.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't like, because the Foothold pedals were getting too sticky on my feet.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that feeling. So I'm not sure which pedals I'll end up with once I start doing more tricks, because I'm noticing like, oh, now that I'm riding more, like I kind of want to figure out which parts I'm gonna be riding
Oh, I gotcha.
this season. So I might get back on the Alienation Footholds. I might be on the DK magnesium pegs, not sure, or pedals. I'm not sure. Yeah, shout out to Alienation.
My video with all the parts for my new bike, all the Alienation parts, went up today. Stoked.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so stoked on the direction the Alienation is going right now, and Zach just working on so much stuff that is just like at the highest level of technology and quality.
Heck yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, he's always doing stuff. He always hits me up like figuring out what I've won out of the new product and stuff. Really
Hmm.
cool.
Yeah, just lots of really good stuff coming from there, and there's more on the way. And one I'm like mega excited about. I think I told you about it, but I haven't told the internet about it yet.
Hey,
Yeah, it's exciting. But with that,
gonna
what?
you're gonna say or you can't?
Oh, not yet.
Okay.
Not till I'm putting it
I
on my
probably
bike.
looking up to say it. I'm sorry.
No, we're teasing it. I
Okay. Stay
not.
tuned, folks.
What's that?
I said stay tuned, folks.
That's right. Whenever I put it onto my new bike is whenever people will see it. It's cool. But another thing too, just with the whole DK thing, I wondered, like, because do they only make one BM freestyle frame
Yeah,
face?
just the face frame.
So what's the inspiration behind the geometry from that? How did they get to that frame? Do you know?
I don't know, but I'm lucky because it's identical to my Americano frame.
Wow.
That's actually another reason I wanted to ride DK. I'm like, oh, they have the frame I want. They're DK. Like, I
Yeah.
want to them. But I don't know. I know Marcus Christopher and his dad had a lot of input on the frame geometry.
Nice.
Oh, I don't want to say they copied mine. I really don't know. Like, I truly don't know. But no, because Marcus used to ride for Kink, and he rode the Kink Titan frame,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they just tweaked stuff off of that.
Yeah. So speaking of Marcus, just got to give Marcus a little more praise because that kid. What is your first memory of seeing him ride? Do you remember it?
Oh crap! I've been riding with him since he was like 10, so I don't know.
So, oh, dude, I remember that because you'd always go ride his backyard ramp.
Yeah, his first backyard.
Yeah, Graceland.
Yeah, Graceland. Um, man,
How? What was he doing when you were first started riding with him that you remember back then? Was he already like really good for a 10-year-old kid?
oh my god, yeah, he was like insane. I truly think he still does it. Like, I feel like he was just doing crazy wall rides. I'm like, this kid has so much bike control. He's doing like weird pocket air wall rides that no one else is doing,
Yeah.
and he's 10, and he's airing pretty high, and he's goofy footed. Like, he has cool style. Like, I was just like, it was mainly the wall rides. Like, that dude will wall ride anything.
Yeah. Well, he wall rode out of the 10-foot channel at the brew house.
Oh yeah, I mean, we wall ride that together.
Oh,
He
okay.
did the wall ride at Woodward East, the weird snowplow, or I don't even know what you call that. Like a
Oh
short,
yeah. The Nate
like
Wessel wall is what they call
yeah,
it.
the Nate Wessel wall. Like, wall ride out of that. Like, he'll find every weird. He's grinded every weird rail at Rays and has wall rode every weird wall at Rays.
I'm not
Like,
surprised.
yeah, like, and he'll do like the weirdest wall rides on our warm up laps around the XC loop in the pump track. He'll hit wall rides that I have never hit, and I'm
Mm.
like, dude, I don't even know if I want to hit that. And
Yeah.
he does it like just for fun, like, or doesn't even. He's just doing it like he doesn't even know what he's doing.
I remember the first time I ever saw Marcus Christopher. He was either 11 or 12. It had to have been 11 at our trail jam, and him and his dad came. He was still like connected with S&M at that time,
Oh yeah.
and he was just blasting everything at the trails, doing no foot cans and Supermans, and he's just this
Yeah.
little kid on an 18-inch bike.
Had such good Superman as a little kid too. He still does really great Supermans. But like as a little kid, and he looked like he grew like 100 feet long when he could do a Superman. He was like this tall, like he's so short.
Yeah, and there was a dude at there. I say this all the time, but it's just funny, so I keep saying it. There was a dude at the jam who he didn't ride bikes. He just hung out with John, the guy who owns the trails, and he'd get drunk. And by the time Marcus's dad showed up. He was already drunk, and he was just calling Marcus's dad Sasquatch the whole day
What?
because his dad's just jacked.
Dude, he's jacked as shit. Yeah, he's super.
It was
That's
just funny. Yeah, Marcus Christopher, that kid, he got second
second at the first World Cup. Yeah, his first Feast podium.
only second to Logan Martin.
Yeah, he's beat Logan at the Ultimate X event, which everyone opened their eyes at that time. That was like a few years back.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got on podium for his first time at Feast, and he did the 360 quad downlip, which he learned at the brew house. And then
there we go.
he learned it at the brew house, dialed it in, then went to Woodward, did it on wood once, and then flew to Saudi Arabia and did it there in his contest run, both runs.
Crazy. I saw some controversy online saying that he got robbed. Did he actually get robbed? I didn't watch, so I didn't know.
I don't know if I want to say anything.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
So he got robbed. But I didn't see, so I can't say anything at all. And I wouldn't be surprised if Logan won. I wouldn't be surprised if Marcus won.
It was very close either way.
Yeah.
Marcus had the tricks, Logan had the lines, and it's just probably one of those things you could go either way all day. Like,
Yeah. That's fair.
you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, where you could argue both sides and it would make sense.
Like, I could see both sides for sure. Like, I don't want to claim either or.
I gotcha. How, in your eyes, when it comes to those contests, like, how well do you feel like you understand how you're going to be judged?
Ugh. Yeah, that's a hard one.
Is it tough? Do you feel like you know what you're getting into when you're going?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, part of my homework is literally watching the event over and over and over.
Yeah.
And just trying to find patterns or like what the judges are like really nitpicking at.
Yeah.
And you can really break it down. Like sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's like, man, I don't really know about that one. But like that's where it's really great to have Nyquist as a coach, where we could like him and I will like, especially since I can't ride these events these last four times or the last four events.
Mm-hmm.
Him and I have just been like dissecting, like, okay, like, well, what made this run stand out a little bit more? What made so and so's run a little bit better? Like we've been breaking it down, and that's really fun and like really a good learning experience.
Yeah.
But like he had, because I got fuming like a couple weeks ago or last month. You probably saw the comment. But
yeah, I did.
At BMX Triple Challenge, Nyquist didn't make top 16. And I watched the whole live feed, and I was like, there's no way. Like, I was mad, dude. I did a cold plunge. I did yoga. Did something else. And I was like, I should be zenned out right now, but I'm still pissed off about these results.
Wow.
And then Nyquist, he's like, hey, buddy, once we're in a judge sport, like he was like, he didn't even care if he made finals or not. Like he was like, I was like, why aren't you fired up? Like, why aren't you mad?
Yeah.
He's like, bro, like, just calm down. Like he's like, I've learned a long time ago being in a judge sport, like as soon as you drop in, all of what all your expectations of what a judge or what your scored run should look like goes out the window. Like all you can do is focus on your run.
Yeah.
Not because it's just like if they're humans judging other humans. Like they're gonna have mistakes. They're gonna see things differently than someone else. That's why there's 5 of them or whatever. So you could get like somewhat of a better or good understanding. But like he just said, like, you just gotta let it go. Like, and I was like, man, coming from the guy that's won more contests than anybody.
Yeah.
You listen to this recent podcast on Unclicked.
Yeah.
He might have the most wins out of any rider.
It wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah, like because he rode dirt, park, and he has a lot of wins in both. A lot of wins in both.
Mm-hmm.
And he rode vert for a little bit. I forget what other event.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, it makes sense, and to hear that, I'm sure hearing that from the guy who it happened to in that situation probably helped too.
Yeah, it helped a lot.
Yeah, sometimes I struggle with the judging thing, but it's funny you mentioned how like watching the contest and trying to figure out patterns and things is something that you did because there was definitely a moment in time there where I feel like you had judging in BMX contests just figured out. Where you would go to the contest and then you'd qualify for finals and then you'd throw down a run and it was like guaranteed. It felt like it was guaranteed that you were gonna win. It was like, how is like he just knows.
Dude, it's like, well, thanks, but I don't. I wish I had that mentality, or like I wish
You
I.
can't have that mentality because then
Right.
it won't happen.
Yeah, exactly. You truly don't. Like, truly, it's just like there was a moment where I was so fed up with like I didn't make finals when I knew I should have made finals one time.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you know what? Next event, I'm literally gonna make it easy for the judges and just do anything and everything harder than someone else
Yeah.
to like stand out. And then I won the next event. That was the recon tour, my first park win, or first big event. I beat Scotty Cramner. I was like, mine.
Dang.
And Scotty won the year previous. It was at the unit. The recon tour finals at the unit. And Scotty won the year previously, and he had crazy lines. And somehow I ended up on top. But that was like, but I just remember not making finals at the previous stop, and I was like, I was just so confused. Like, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, there's no way. Like, it just made no sense. So I was just like, why not just try to make it easier on the judges and really just give it everything you got, really.
Yeah.
And that kind of like been has been my mentality.
I definitely distinctly remember just watching and just knowing for whatever reason that you were gonna do well, and it was like you just knew what you had to do and you did it and it worked. I remember it specifically. I think at Simple Session. I feel like I remember it. Did you?
That's second at simple session, but I really wanted to win, or I thought I won. Um,
I don't. I don't remember exactly.
simple session's the hardest, dude. I swear this is why Daniel Dares goes to simple session still, because he hasn't won yet.
Oh, that's funny.
Hardest event to win.
Oh yeah, I mean just throwing everyone in. Didn't they change up how they do it now though?
It's all street now,
Yeah.
which is great for street riders. Like,
I want to
it's
see
simple
Dares.
sessions are such a fun event.
I want to see Dares ride a street contest just because you know he can. That
Oh
that
yeah.
edit he made, the street edit with 4 pegs
Oh
and no
my god.
brakes. I remember that. That was funny.
Dude, Dares is the funniest guy in the world.
I've never had a real conversation with him. Maybe I can get him to do my podcast.
Maybe.
Dares, if you hear this, message me, please. Let's make this happen. But yeah, and another thing along those lines, I'm curious of. We don't have to talk in depth about this, but do you believe that the Cleveland curse is real?
Oh gosh. No.
Okay,
I don't want it to be.
no one wants it to be real.
Well, me personally, because I live here and I'm
Yeah.
an athlete, like I don't want it to be real. Um, but I rep the United States, so it's like I don't rep Cleveland.
Oh, perfect. You're solid.
Yeah.
Loopholes.
I rep Youngstown, Ohio, actually.
There we go. Hear that? Hear that? Evil Cleveland curse spirits.
Yeah.
Nick doesn't apply.
Maybe that's why I crashed at the Olympics, the damn Cleveland curse.
Well, we don't have that darn Indians name in our baseball team anymore, so maybe that'll please the Cleveland curse, whatever, juju, bad juju people.
Yeah. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I just was curious. I don't know.
No,
Sometimes,
no, no, I don't believe in that curse type stuff.
good. Can't let that get in your head, so I'm glad.
No, yeah. Like,
I'm excited to see the next event that you get into, though. Do you know what it's going to be? The first one?
Should be France or Feast Montpellier,
Oh, that's a.
the best one.
I was going to say, is there a better event to come back to?
Dude, the crowd is like, just dude, that place is amazing, man.
Yeah.
Like, just the vibe.
Why do you think the crowd is so wild there? Like, or is so big even?
Dude, they've been doing that event for over 20 years,
Oh, that's why.
and they like Montpellier has always been like the main city for feasts.
Mm,
So like like people take off work for that week just to be a part of the festival,
gotcha.
and so it's like a national holiday in Montpellier. Or
Wow.
like people travel all over just to go see it.
They're looking at it like a normal professional sport, I feel, there.
But the craziest thing, that crowd knows what we're doing,
Oh, really?
dude. Like one year, Timothy Bringer, he's a mountain bike rider now.
Mm-hmm.
He actually did the first ever flip triple whip
Mm.
on a normal box. He did the first flip double whip to bar, and he did a flip triple whip to bar on a crazy dirt jump.
Jeez.
But he was doing flip double whip to bars, but he was trying it in finals for his last trick. And he kept doing flip double whips, and the crowd would be amped up, and then they'd go when he wouldn't throw the bar.
Whoa.
Whole crowd, like, so they knew he wanted a bar out.
Huh.
And any like X Games crowd isn't gonna know if we're throwing a bar after a tail up, or especially a flip double whip. A flip double whip looks sick no matter what.
Right.
But this crowd was like genuinely like, shit, he didn't do it. Like,
Yeah.
but like any other crowd in the world would be like, flip double whip. What is he doing more flip double whips for? We want like, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That same reaction. But I'm telling you, like it's like an echo chamber. Like they were so in tune with everybody's and there's many other examples, but that one really sticks out because it was like so obvious.
Yeah, they're in there with the rider where they know what's going on versus the X Games crowd where they have no idea. That's super cool to hear. And
Thousands of them. Like, I don't know the numbers, but there's like a sea of people watching the BMX final. Like, it's so insane.
I really hope we get something like that here in the US. Maybe once USA BMX builds the freestyle facility
Hope
that they
so.
have going on, maybe around the Tulsa area, people
Yeah,
will get into it
that's
because
the BMX like history.
right. So it sounds like with the Feast Montpellier thing, it's that the crowd follows BMX similarly to how people here follow like football, and they know the stats of some football player, so they
Yeah,
know that this dude's trying to bar spin after the flip double whip.
something, dude. Yeah, like they're just it's just a different world. Like, it's so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. It would be a good first one for you to get back to.
Yeah.
Um, this is totally outside of the realm of any of that, but I was thinking about it today, and just from like being your friend and talking and stuff, it feels like you have been pretty smart with your success in BMX as far as like the financial side of things goes. I feel like we talked about you being a renter or a landlord, maybe is the proper term for that. And things like that. And I was just kind of curious if you had any thoughts on that you would tell somebody who's in a position where they're about to be thrust into this world and about to have those types of things to think about in BMX.
As far as financial stuff goes.
Yeah, but not financial advice because we're not allowed to give that on the internet. But just disclaimer. But just that kind of thing of like, was there something that you intentionally did that for, where you realized you had this opportunity to be smart with your finances?
Oh man, I had to learn a lot. Like, I went from never saving any money to like being the biggest saver of my life, or like biggest saver I know of. I read a lot of financial books.
Yeah.
Like, well, no. So before I sound weird, um, listening to Fat Tony's podcast
Mm.
opened up my world to like financial well-being, like in having like, because he would interview Terry Adams, who has like his own real estate rent, or he has a huge portfolio of properties.
Mm.
And I was like, man, like if I could save money and like buy a rental property, and it's just money that comes in monthly, like a sponsor check, like that's the dream. I only have one. Could have had a lot more if I didn't build the warehouse. But I'm still really proud of that first one, and I plan to keep saving for more. But truly, just the Terry Adams podcast with Fat Tony like inspired me to like want to figure out like how to save money, and like he's a flatlander. Like those guys don't have the same opportunities as like they don't well, they had X Games last year. They have X Games in
Yeah,
Japan,
they
but
didn't.
yeah, and it was the best show of the freaking X Games. But yeah, they didn't have the same opportunities as us. And he was killing it, and this guy's killing it. Like that was like so inspiring. Like if he could do it, like anyone could do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like just figuring out how to save, not spending it, or just spending money more wisely. Yeah, it's just funny. I don't know if I should be even saying anything because I'm not doing financially great with the warehouse.
Well,
So that
that's
wasn't like
different.
that's different. Yeah, I mean I'm not doing terrible, or I'm okay.
Yeah.
But I would love to save. I would love to be in a position to save more money, but that time will come. But like it's important for what I'm doing and what my goals are right now to have the warehouse.
Right. So from what I'm gathering from what you're saying is like you intentionally sought out books and podcasts and ways to learn about these types of things, because basically what I'm trying to get here is just for somebody who's potentially about to be in a similar position as you, where you went into things and started to do well in contests, and if you place and do well at X Games, you got these significant paychecks that start to come in that if you're not smart about it, or not if you're not smart, I don't want to go the negative route. If you are smart about it, can help set you up for your future career to make things easier on you, so that you can potentially have a warehouse that if you weren't smart about your finances back then, might not even be a question. You might be living out at Woodward right now.
Right. Like I don't know what it is, but every BMX rider, as soon as they get money, they buy cars. But I've never been a car guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's a lucky trait I have or what. But like even like Anthony Napolitan, like he's like, do not buy. He's like, just keep trying to buy houses. Do not buy cars or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, just finding inspiration outside of BMX. Like there's a ton of successful people out there, and you just learn what they've done, starting with barely any money.
Yeah.
Like you just save. Like the easiest thing you could do is start saving at least 10% of every pay.
Yeah.
Like that's all I started with, and then it just kept accumulating. Like, and then keeping my expenses as low as possible. Like that's truly the key. And but it's funny because BMX is not a cheap sport when you're like at the Olympic level. Like it's not a cheap, like
Right.
it's just not like but like the early, like before Olympics came around. But like thankfully I have a lot of support through USA Cycling for
That's what I was gonna say.
But like for normal stuff, or no, even you just have to literally, like the first book I read The Richest Man of Babylon. Like the biggest theme of it was pay yourself first.
Mm.
Like literally after I lost Mad Gear, my credit card was my best sponsor. Like that's
Oh.
like funding my travel. But luckily I would do well enough to just pay it all off and save some. But like I would always like put money in a savings account first before I would pay off all my debt yet, or the credit card. And like that was the fundamentals of all these books, or that was an ongoing theme through a lot of these books, is pay yourself first, no matter, even if it's like 1% of pay. Like just start somewhere, because that, just having that discipline of putting money away out of each pay, it pays off dividends. Like that's the reason why I've been able to build a warehouse, or buy a rental property, or like build my private dream skate park, like just by making sure like I pay myself first
Yeah.
before my bills.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's like, and I swear it was in like 3 or 4 books. Like that was like, I mean, it's kind of all regurgitates each other, like, but that was like a main staple. That's just where you just start where you can, and you truly like stay disciplined as possible with it.
Yeah.
It will pay off, even if, like, I'm telling you, I started with like $10, and like it just grew and grew and grew. Like you just keep doing whatever you can. Even if I got like a $10 paycheck, I'd put $1 away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I used to do a lot of shows, and some shows paid like $100 for the day, others paid a little more, and like I would just put little by little away out of every pay,
Yeah.
and just being really, because like it's easy, like we live in a consumer society, like it's easy to just, oh, I have a $500, I'm going to buy the new Xbox, or like you just instantly spend everything.
Yep.
As soon as you get money, like we're conditioned to spend it, but we're not conditioned to pay ourselves first, and you really have to discipline yourself to do that.
Yep. That's very important. And I think the way that you just summed it up is a great thing for anybody who has potential for success in any avenue, specifically BMX, because sponsor pay in BMX isn't, amazing.
It starts small. It really does.
So being able to start from that, unless you live in California and every single dime of your checks just go to living.
But
But
the gurus say start with a penny, like anything, man. Like it's not necessarily how much money you accumulate. It's just the practice of putting something,
mm,
anything away, just so you have, and like not touching
yeah,
until like you're ready to buy a house, or like, or put a down payment on a house, or like you need a new car or something, or like it'll grow as long as you're very disciplined about it.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Then you'll have that freedom to like, oh, maybe I pay off all this debt, maybe I put a little bit of more away, or like you have options if you just are disciplined with. But like I get it, like I get it. I've been in the positions where you're living paycheck to paycheck as well, but like it's just something about that little muscle you're creating by putting it away, like, and it just gets stronger and stronger, and then next minute you're getting bigger paychecks, and you have that discipline to put that money away.
Yep.
Really just setting yourself up for that. Like if you're making $100 a month and you could just put $1 away, like that'll, and then you never know, like maybe one day, like they say, like everyone that wins the lottery goes broke in X amount of years after.
Yep.
You have that financial,
Literacy.
yeah, the literacy to put something away.
Yep.
And it's like you never know when you'll come up. Like money comes and goes. Like sometimes, or something could happen. You never know.
Yep.
But if you don't have that discipline to put it away, you'll get right back to square one and not really know what you're doing.
Yeah, and I think this is a really important topic to talk about in BMX, because there's not really people like you who are talking about these things openly for everyone to hear in a way that can teach them, where if nobody's talking about it, nobody's teaching the people who are coming up how to be smart about things, then it's just going to continue with the path of what has happened, where you see people just disappear or have to go get a normal job because they just aren't able to make it work.
Yeah, like yeah, like yeah, it's just hard. Like, but it's truly like that changed my life. Like listening to this podcast with that Tony, because he's also a real estate investor,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't even know that was a thing. But like
Right.
now, like if you have that goal, or like that was like that's still an ambitious goal of mine, like to obtain rental property, because it's just like I go there like once or twice a year to my rental property,
Wow.
just random stuff.
That's crazy.
Like I got very lucky with this one, um, and the tenant's really the same tenant for the last 3 years. Like I bought it right before COVID,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, before I built the warehouse, I was like, I'm making sure I'm buying a rental property with this money before I put it all in to ramps.
Right.
I got lucky. That was all thanks to Weed Maps and Rockstar. Their bonuses, like, and 2019 was a pretty good year, and it was just it made a lot of dreams happen. But like, if I was done with money, like you said, like I would not be able I would not have been able to do any of those things if I had the poor tech or if I wasn't as financial literate as I was.
Yeah.
And I only learned that by reading a ton of books, listening to a ton of podcasts, and it all stemmed from that Terry Adams Fat Tony podcast, The Expansion Project.
So that's where you should start, people.
Yes, I find it motivating as heck, but like once you're disciplined and you're like, oh wow, I got like a couple $100 that I didn't have, and I don't have to touch it. Like once you get there, you're like, oh wow, and you kind of like, it's like a game. You want to just keep trying to grow it.
Yep. See how much you can get.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, money isn't everything, but like, unfortunately, we live in a society where like it kind of rules our lives, and it's sad.
Money sustains passion. And if passion is BMX for you, making money will sustain that. And if you can find ways.
Yeah, even if you want a new bike next year, like 10% out of every pay, like you're gonna have a new bike.
Right.
I don't know. I can't assume everyone's financial situation, but like that's always that everyone loves the feeling of a new bike.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just save like a little bit here and there, you could get those new wheels, and like who knows when, but like it's possible. You don't have to ride something that might break down, or then you get frustrated with BMX because their parts break. Or I see a lot of that too, like, oh, I just can't afford a new bike, which I've been there.
Yeah.
My first event, when I was at the Free Flow tour, every single rider used to make fun of my bike on the deck.
Really?
Because I had, and I wish I had a picture, but like on my stem, like I didn't have a proper compression bolt for my stem.
Mm-hmm.
So I just used a hardware store bolt, or a bolt that I found in my dad's garage, and stacked a ton of washers just to keep my stem on.
Yeah.
Or just my stem. But like I didn't have the money but my bike rode, or it did its job. Like I didn't, but like that's just so funny. That's a funny memory, because like I truly did not have money for bike parts, but I was also at the time, I did not save money. Like I was working with my dad, like I could have been saving money.
Yeah.
Like, but I wasn't. But if I had the discipline of just putting a little bit away here and there, I could buy a new stem or buy a new fork, or it's just amazing. Like that little muscle of just putting a little bit away, even if it's $1. Like,
Yeah. I've always heard, I haven't read books or anything, but I've heard people say things like the people who are the most successful aren't necessarily the people who are making the most money, but the
Yeah.
people who are finding the smartest ways to spend the money that they have.
Dude, yeah, there's a story about FedEx or a UPS driver who was only making 40K a year, but he died a millionaire
Yeah.
because of the way he was putting his money away and the way it accumulated through index funds.
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
tons and tons of stories like that. So you're like, you don't need to be like a 30 to 40K job a year. Like that's, I don't know, it's easy to find right now, but like
Yeah.
it's an obtainable goal.
Yep.
And if those, I mean, we're also living in a whole different economy, and they're saying like 80K is bare minimum of what you need to be making to live a normal life that these people were living back in the day, making 30K.
Jeez, I didn't hear that.
Dude, it's sad. Like we're living in. I don't even want to go down that road. Like,
Yeah, let's go to positive things.
yeah.
I feel like we. What?
Is that good as far as
Oh,
like?
that was more than good. We could talk about the positive thing of Warzone 2. Mike Laird left that comment. I was like, oh, I have to.
Dude, Laird's a bully, man.
Why? What's this? Why do you leave that comment?
I play Warzone with Laird and Nick Digital Aroma a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was also recovering from my injury. So now that riding's ramped up, but Mike plays every night at 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. So I like kind of got on that schedule.
Yeah.
And, some nights have my good nights, and then other nights, like the liability of the team, like always down. I need revived. And Mike just gives me the hardest time about it.
That is so funny.
But we've gotten some wins, and I've gotten like a handful of kills some games.
Mm-hmm.
So like I can hold my own, but like sometimes I'm just like a complete noob. Like I'm a noob. But I don't play the game. Like I don't have like I enjoy video games, but like I just get antsy. Like I want to go do something.
Yeah.
When I'm playing a video game.
Too funny. I feel like I had the Warzone conversation with Laird at a event at one point in time.
I believe it. Yeah, he's serious about it, man.
That is so funny.
So is Nick Digital Aroma. Like they do not like losing. And I'm like, dude, I'm just here to play a game. Like I'm not here to like win the freaking world championship or something.
You haven't gotten that deep yet to where you're getting super mad?
No.
That is funny.
I laugh the whole time.
Dude.
And they're annoyed. So I'm probably annoying to play with because I don't really care.
Yeah.
But it's like maybe I bring like fun energy. I don't know.
That's super funny. I used to be mega obsessed with Warzone.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah. To see you post the win like every day.
Yeah, back before they changed to Warzone 2. Now,
You don't like Warzone 2?
I did not like the new one, and everyone got their guns leveled up before Warzone came out, so like you jump in there and just instantly you got a disadvantage. I played it last night after they updated and put that new small map in there, and like instantly during that game I was like, I just don't even want to play it anymore.
Really?
I got obsessed with Rocket League now.
I'm not sure what that one is.
Oh, dude, it's so fun. It's literally you're driving. It's car soccer, where you have like.
I've seen you you live streamed it one day, right?
Yeah, I probably put it on when I was streaming it on Twitch for a minute.
I saw it one day you were playing it. It looked like you're driving semi trucks hitting a soccer ball.
You're just driving cars, and you could. It's got like a jet where you could fly through the air and hit it in the air, and it's actually really fun. There's a lot of physics to it, and I'm just obsessed.
Oh wow!
Like I'm literally sitting here while you're talking about Warzone. I was like, do I have enough time to play some Rocket League after we get off here? Like, it's bad. it's
It, it's fun though. It's like your personal time.
that's kind of what it is for me, is where it's like I'm literally working for more than 12 hours a day every single day pretty much. So it's that couple hours at the end of the day where it's like, oh, Rocket
Yeah, nice me time.
League. Yeah. And it actually brings me to the last thing on my list here to talk about with you. But, like, what do you do outside of BMX for fun?
Fun.
Is there anything? Or is BMX it?
Man, I want to say play with my dogs a lot. Like me and my wife do a lot of. She makes me do like she has taught me the art of leisure, like
Mm,
finding something fun out of BMX. Because like when you're competing at a high level and like you're so consumed all day by it, it could hurt performance.
yeah, for sure.
You need to you need to have other avenues.
Yep.
I do. I don't know. I can't tell you what we do. Like simple as like walking the dogs. We walk the dogs a lot. We just go to the metro parks. We walk around. Like we just explore around. Like we're like very simple people. Like do a lot of yoga. Basketball's been a fun little activity in the brew house. Man, I don't know.
But you're not like a closet chess freak, or there's not like a thing where you
Uh, I do like painting and drawing.
really.
Yeah,
I had no idea. How often do you do that?
not as often as I want to, but like when I get in the routine of it, like it's like very peaceful. Like I just listen to chill music. Also read a lot. But lately it's been we've been watching a lot of movies. Like I have a lot I did not know like I was never a person to sit down and watch TV or movies.
Mm-hmm.
But like watching like Chelsea, my wife is really into like artsy movies. And I'll watch she's like got me into movies. Like
Huh. That's cool.
just like I know like I have a different appreciation of that art of like watching movies now and what that I never had before until her.
Yeah.
And it's just like nice quality time. Just her and I like we'll go to a movie or her friend's really into movies, so we'll go hang out with him and watch a movie or something.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
It's
So
because that's restorative. Like because we would also play a lot of tennis and go on a lot of hikes, but then I would find myself on my rest days doing more than I should be doing.
right.
And I'm like just fatigued all week long and like feeling burnt out. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, well, we didn't really do anything. So like movies have been like a nice break or like just getting off my feet because I
Yeah.
walk a lot and I ride a lot.
Somebody said, "Can we see some art?" Sometime you'll have to
Yeah, maybe some.
show something sometime. Uh, is there a movie that you remember off the top of your head right now that you recently watched that you really were into? Maybe even a one from the theater.
Oh, I never watched Avatar until recently.
So you watched the first one, then the second one.
Yeah, I'd never seen it until the new one came out. So I watched the first one and then the second one.
Nice.
And I was like, because I'm literally like, if there's any hype around a movie, I will not watch it.
Oh, that's funny.
Like I don't want to watch it because
Yeah.
there's too many opinions. Like so you don't like you get caught up in all that. So it's like it's hard. But like Avatar, I could see why it lived up to all that hype.
Yeah.
It was really great, and the new one was great.
That's funny you said that because Victoria and I watch pretty much every single big movie that comes out.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, there's been days where we watched two movies at the theater in one day, back to back, just because two things we really want to see came out. And I'm the same way about like not necessarily not wanting to see something because of hype, but because of the way people talk about things online, I just go out of my way to not have any spoilers at all. To where during
Uh,
previews, I will literally plug my ears and shut my eyes
Holy
so
crap!
I'm not seeing anything until we watch it.
Yeah, you kind of have to do that, I feel like.
If you don't want it to be ruined or have expectations, yeah.
Yeah, we've been watching a lot of old movies.
How old?
60s, 70s, 80s.
Nice. You watching John Wayne and stuff?
We've been into John Carpenter movies.
Mm.
I don't know if you know the director. I didn't know the director until recently, but
Is that? I feel like I know. I
he
mean,
directed Halloween, actually.
yeah, that's why I knew I recognized that name.
Um, we have a funny ongoing joke. Like, we went to this movie in Pittsburgh after the wheel mill the one day,
Mm-hmm.
and we were making fun of Chelsea's friend, calling him a carpenter bro, because I guess that's like a thing.
Oh, okay.
We got to the theater, and there's this dude with pit viper glasses, a mullet, and like a weird, well, a cool vest jacket thing. And we're like, "That's a carpenter, bro." And like, it's, it's just the funniest thing because it was a Carpenter movie. Like at this like it was
Oh, okay.
a Pittsburgh theater, like showing old movies and stuff.
Yeah.
But my wife's also really into Nicolas Cage, so we've been like just going down the list.
Oh, dude, I
Well,
love National Treasure. I love those movies.
yeah, his newest one, I love his newest one, the Unbearable Massive Weight of Talent or something.
Oh, where he's like, yeah, I saw previews for that, but I didn't watch it.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But like even his old movies are really great.
That's funny.
You gotta watch Wild at Heart. It's the most ridiculous movie in the world.
Okay. I feel like people talk about Nicolas Cage and hate on him the way that they hate on Nickelback. Because it's like the popular thing to hate on. Not necessarily because they actually don't like him.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, dude, my wife has turned me into a huge Nicolas Cage fan.
I thought you were about to say Nickelback fan.
Oh yeah, no, I'm one of the haters of Nickelback. No, just kidding.
That's pretty funny. That's cool to hear that you're into that kind of stuff too. And I don't know, I'd be stoked to see some kind of art at some point.
Yeah, well, this actually makes me want to draw more. So
Cool.
maybe, who knows?
What's your
I like drawing my dogs.
yeah? What's your style of drawing? Is it like you go for realism? You
What would
cartoony?
be, like I like looking at something and just drawing it.
trying to do it realistically?
Yeah,
That's cool.
like say the brew house, like a picture of the brew house. I would just draw that, and
Mhm.
or the dogs, like a photo of the dogs, and like draw the dogs, or just anything like still photos or still, I don't know, still objects.
Still life.
Still life. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the. You're huge into art, aren't you?
I don't know. I haven't drawn in a long time. I thought I could make this channel into like an art channel surrounded by
Oh,
BMX, where I was just drawing like a portrait of a different rider every week. But
yeah.
but dude, it got crazy to like to make it happen because I was making time lapse videos from them where it was real time lapse with a real camera going like it was on a time lapse mode, so it was taking them, and I was sitting right here with my drawing board for literally the same amount of time I would normally be editing videos today. So it'd be like 10 hours of drawing every single day just to get it done.
Yeah, that's intense.
It was rough. And then editing the videos because I would take out every single frame that wasn't pencil on paper. So you have to go through every frame of the whole thing. It was rough.
That's insane.
Yeah, but oh, it's cool to hear you're into drawing. I think it's cool to hear the kinds of things people are into outside of just riding because, yeah, you can go and do, flare whip to down whip and people will be like, oh my God. But then there's other people who are also into art or movies or reading they could be stoked on that too.
Yeah, everyone, or most people have dogs nowadays. Like,
Yep. Whew. Well, Nick, we did 2.5 hours just now.
yeah, I didn't realize it's 11 p.m.
Yeah, and I don't want to take up your whole entire night here, but I appreciate you chatting, and everybody check the link in the description wherever you're listening to this for the t-shirts. Yeah.
Thank you, Brant. Thank you for all the kind words and the shout outs.
Got you, dog.
Thank you for letting me on again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, his YouTube. Go subscribe to his YouTube. I told him, so we were filming a video at Ray's, and he was there, and I promised.
Oh, you're going to drop it soon, huh?
Whenever I get to it, but because I don't remember what day that was, so I don't know where that happened, but I promised him during that video, I was like, I will not put this out saying that your YouTube channel is coming back until you post a video.
Yeah.
So now it's back, and people will have something to watch whenever that one finally ends up coming out.
Yeah.
But yeah, people can tune in, and you're going to film the progression of finishing the ramp setup and whatever else you got going on.
Yep. Finish some riding sessions in the brew house for the time being, and then finishing that ramp soon, and whatever else we come up with, I guess.
Sick. We're gonna have a knockout tournament. Not
Yeah,
this
that'll be
Saturday.
cool. Yeah, not this Saturday.
Maybe next Saturday.
Wedgewood contest.
Yep.
Are you going?
Oh yeah, I have to go film it.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there judging.
Yeah.
So if anyone's watching and is gonna be a competitor, I am
$100.
open to bribe. No, I'm just kidding.
$100. If I get roped into judging too, it's gonna be very interesting. I'm definitely gonna film it. So yeah, Wedgewood ramps in Austintown, correct?
Yes, in town, Ohio.
There's a contest this weekend. Pro purse is $1,700, and first place is $1,000 for pro, which is huge.
Yeah, that's huge for a little local event. That's great.
Yeah, so I can't wait to see who all comes out for this one.
Rumor has it Nathan Powell's coming out.
Ooh, see, and then in April 1st, Trevor's contest at Chenga.
Yeah.
Heard you were gonna compete in that one with Marcus and Nick.
I was gonna judge that one.
I want so badly for a contest at Chenga to happen that people like you and Marcus and Nate and just everybody competes at.
Yeah, it would be intense because we wouldn't go easy, I don't think.
No, I want to see this happen. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stop taking up all your time. Everyone go subscribe to Nick's channel and follow him on Instagram.
Thank you, Brant.
Absolutely. All right. His Instagram is Nick_Bruce also. Got you. You don't even have to promote yourself. I can do it for you. YouTube, MooreBMX. Type it in. Link down below. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And have a good night. Bye.